recording on too for our YouTube purposes. And we are live, just making sure my technical support's watching for us, make sure we're there. And I've got the big thumbs up, we're all go. Hello everybody, it's Sunday this week. You can just about see me, I rearrange myself, you can see a bit more of me. It's Sunday this week, 28th of June. Again, still in COVID, another lockdown period. So we're having another one of our lockdown Pitlane walks. Must first of all thank Richard John for his interview last week. Richard was just superb. I really enjoyed it. The crack with Richard was mighty. I was speaking to him actually during the week, and he even enjoyed it when he watched it back. So that's fairly good when the person that has been interviewed enjoys their own interview when they watch it back. So we must have done something right. Again, Richard, thank you very much. It was superb. Everybody like myself, a wee bit disappointed this weekend. This should have been Castle Hill Climb. We all know everybody loves Castle. Even myself, I love marching at it, especially the Friday. The crack's always mighty. Real disappointment it wasn't able to happen, but we all know the circumstances beyond that. In terms of things not happening, there are still no definite dates for recommencing. Everybody knows there's a lot of complicated things going on in the background with Stormont and things been changed and all that. Once everything's permitted, we've got a big rubber stamp and go. You will know about it. I'll be emailing you all. It'll be all over the Facebook page. I'll be doing my best to spread the good news. There's a lot going on in the background. We haven't forgot about things. There is a lot going on in the background, a lot of works, a few wee bits and pieces, but there'll be some competitor bulletins issued through time once we get to go ahead to start. So everybody needs to watch their email, watch the Facebook page, watch the ANICC website. So that's it. Again, this week I'm wearing our sprint promotional material. Anybody wants some of the sprint teamwear, Blackwater Graphics, it's all available on their online shop. So feel free to purchase them. There's still time to get an order in before the season restarts. Must say a big hello to everybody out there that's watching, especially the McGarrys. I believe Pat's a big fan. He seems to be looking forward to tonight's interview too. So hello to all the McGarrys. I hope these are all having fun along with everybody else who's sitting watching. So tonight's lockdown Pitlane walk, I always get the wrong name for it. Joanne tells me off. So that's twice I've mentioned the name of it now, and chances are I've named it wrong on both occasions. Tonight's is with one of the legends of the championship, who everybody can see in front of them now. So I'm going to let him introduce himself. So Gerry, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Okay. My name's Gerry McGarrity. I've given to do this interview because Davey has threatened me, so I have no choice in the matter. No, I think it's good. It's what you're doing is great to promote the championship and bring everybody together. But it's a good way of keeping everybody together and keeping everybody in touch. You know, this is a bad time. It's not good. But I suppose the main thing is to use common sense. If everybody used common sense, then it shouldn't be a problem. But it's like the headmaster said one day, it's not easy teaching common sense. It's hard to find times. But anyway, we'll see what we can do. So yeah, I enjoy doing the championship. I enjoy the crack. I haven't been to the championship for a while. I did it before, maybe 25 or odd years ago. So it's a good discipline. It's a good way of honing your skills and practicing your driving and seeing how you can be better. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you can always be better. It doesn't matter whether you're going to Kirkison, whether you're going to Nuts Corner, it doesn't matter whether you're going to a rally or whether you're going to a race, you can always be better. There's always more, but it's all an experience. And you know, that's what wins. And you can take that experience. The experience always comes through. Doesn't matter what you're going to do. Before you know how to do anything right, you have to do it wrong. So then you know you're right. So this is a good way of practicing your skills, practicing your things to make you more experienced. So I enjoy going to the sprints. It's a good discipline. It doesn't take a lot of people to do it. You can do it yourself. If everything's well sorted and everything is prepared, you can put the car in the trailer, go to Kirkuson, do the sprint, and drive home again. Go to a rally, you need a pile of people, you need a pile of help, you need a pile of organization, you need a pile of wheels, you need a pile of tires, you need a pile of time, you need a pile of planning. So this is a good discipline. And also it's a good competition. If you look at every one of the classes has got good competition. There's somebody good there in every one of them, so the standard's good. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're playing tennis or whether you're playing golf or whatever. The only way you're going to get better at something is you have to play with people that are better than you. So I have to use Gary Milligan to better my experience. So that's why I'm back doing the sprints again.
Now, don't you be egging Gary Milligan on too much now, Gerry, because I don't want Gary going any faster than he already is. He already makes me work hard. Don't you be egging him on to go harder. I'm going to have to go harder.
There's always more.
Oh dear. You mentioned there some classes. We also, one that's very relevant with yourself, Gerry, is we have an unofficial class, which isn't recorded anywhere, but that's the fastest mini in the West.
Yeah.
Which is another great wee thing. So why don't you give us a bit of your take on it? Why you enjoy that particular class battle so much?
Well, you see, the last day, I beat Gerry. So I had the bragging rights from the last day until now, and then with the lockdown and whatever, you see, I had the bragging rights a lot longer than I suppose Gerry thought it was going to be. But he still has to beat me. But we're all in a mini. If you want to be good at something, the best way to be good at something is to get people to do the same thing, and then the best person's going to win. So the best way to do it is people come. What I do now is I used to drive. I used to drive quite a lot, and then I started preparing cars and taking young drivers and coaching them and going and trying to make them better drivers. So the only way that you're going to be better at something is you have to see somebody doing it that's better than you. So we go to the sprints and you look at the entry list and preparation, determination. That's going to win. If you look down the entry list, it doesn't matter where you go. If you go to Donegal International Rally, there'll be 140 cars. Only one man's going to win. That's going to be the best preparation, and it's a whole pile of things. It's preparation. Most of all, it's experience. And the other thing is, if you're going to be good at something, you've got to know how it works. So you need to learn the trade first. So if you're going to build a house, you need to have a plan. You can't just build a house. You're good and going and buying the roof first. So you need to go back to the start. You need to have a plan. You need to stick to the plan, and then you need to execute the plan, and then you have your house. Rallying's the same. Sprint's the same. Racing's the same. The only way that you're going to get better at something, or the quickest way to get better at something is to be with somebody that's better than you. And the best way to improve your driving experience is, it's very hard sometimes to know how good a driver somebody is. If everybody's coming in different cars, if somebody has a car with a V8 in it, it's going to be quick at Kirkuson. If he's going to be quick at Kirkuson, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be quick at Nuts Corner. There's different kinds of quickness. There's different kinds of. I came from probably a motorsport family in that my father and his brothers and sisters, they were all born in Cash. And then there was 15 of them. There was 10 boys and 5 girls, right? So they all left and they went to Belfast. And I suppose they left and they went to Belfast and they got that experience. So the 10 boys left. My father left first and he went to work in McCandless's in Belfast. That was Rex McCandless. He was the man that designed the Featherbed Norton. So
Yes.
Featherbed Norton was exactly what it says it is. It was a featherbed. In other words, if you're going to be comfortable, you'd be in a featherbed. So Norton designed this bike, they made it, but the frame was too rigid. It didn't handle that well. So when they went to the Isle of Man, it was quite hard to keep it going and it was quite hard to ride it. So Rex was racing himself and he designed the Featherbed Norton. My father went to work in the Candlesses. So obviously he was there with Rex or whatever. And then my Uncle Patsy came along and my father got a job then for Patsy. So you think of all this racing or whatever, you know, there's always a reason for things and there's always, you know, there's always a goal at the end of the game. So if you're going to have a problem, if you have a problem with the plumber, you get the plumber. If you have a problem with electrics, you get the electrician. So everybody is good at something. So to be good at everything, you need a bit of experience of everything. So as both they went to Belfast, Patsy wanted to race. Rex McCandless was racing motorbikes. My Uncle Patsy was racing bikes. And then my Uncle Harold was racing bikes. And then my Uncle Michael was racing bikes. And then my Uncle Terence was racing bikes. And they were all racing bikes. So I suppose there was racing there from the day from the day of dot. And then my father came back to Fermanagh to work. And so there was all these boys racing, and my Uncle Patsy, he raced at Ulster Grand Prix, raced at Dunboyne, raced all the road races, raced everywhere. So there was racing no matter where you went. And I suppose when you're surrounded by that there, you're listening to it all the time and you're gaining experience, and it's all about experience. Two things I suppose that wins is one, you have to have respect. You have to have respect for what you're doing. You have to have respect for the road. You have to have respect for other people. And I suppose that's one of the big things. Doesn't matter what you're going to do, whether you're going to Kirkiston, whether you're going to the Circuit of Ireland, whether you're going to Monte Carlo, you've got to have respect. You've got to have respect for the people you meet on the road. You've got to have respect for the people everywhere. And I suppose they all arrived in Belfast and they went their different ways. Patsy was racing bikes or whatever, and they lived in Cromwell Road in Belfast. And then every year, Ulster Grand Prix time would come, the boys would all come over. All the professional riders would come and they mightn't have any place to stay. So they used to come and stay, and my Uncle Patsy or Harold would get them to come, and they would all arrive, they would stay. And then they made contact with a guy who was Bill Smith. Bill Smith was a great racer, and he come and race at Ulster Grand Prix. This is a long-winded story, but we got a goal at the end. So he got to know Bill Smith, and Bill Smith and him, you know, made the connection and whatever. Yeah. And then me and Harold was racing as well. And then the next thing, Bill Smith was very well connected with Honda. So they had the connection with the bikes, they had the connection with Honda, and Honda made very good motorbikes. So the next thing was they decided they were going to sell cars. So they moved up to the Crumlin Road, and they got a small garage in there. And then the next thing was Savoy Cinema was across the road. So whenever they got established for a bit, the cinema, things changed, cinema closed down, and then they moved the garage across into the cinema, and they called it Savoy Motors. So right. The thing then was, Bill Smith was very well connected with the Hondas and the bikes and whatever, and he said to Patsy, Honda's going to start making cars, and if they make cars as good as motorbikes, it'll be a good car, and they'll need a dealer to sell these cars. I can get you the dealership for to sell these Hondas. Yeah, that'll be good. So the racing, off the back of the racing came the Honda dealership, came the Honda cars. So the first Honda cars weren't all that good, but the engines were good, the transmission was good, and all the mechanics were good. The engines looked very much like motorbike engines, and they had a had a basic kind of a shape of a car.
Uh-huh.
They had the agency then for Honda cars, and they started selling Honda cars, but they were really, really reliable. So we're still racing them. My uncle Patsy was a champion motorbike racer on two wheels, and then he eventually decided he wanted to race cars, so they started racing cars. So then Harl started racing cars, and then Malcolm was racing cars, and then the Formula Ford came along. And then the first Formula Ford championship, Patsy had a Formula Ford. I think he won maybe the first Formula Ford championship.
Right.
Then they went on to race Formula Atlantics. That was the pinnacle of single-seater racing. So the first day Mandela Park opened, 3 of them raced at Mandela Park the first day. Patsy, Harold, and Malcolm, the very first day Mandela Park opened. So the racing was there from day one, but on the back of the racing, there was the business came off the back of the racing. So
Yeah.
the Honda came off the back of it. But a lot of things, you know, you look at it and say, you know, this racing's not good. That doesn't make any sense. It's not, you know, but you meet a whole lot of different people. You meet a lot of people on the way, and you make a lot of contacts. And it's all about contacts, and you get out of anything what you put into it. And I remember, you know, I started rallying then, and I was racing first, and then I started rallying. And I remember we're going to the Donegal rally, and Pat Kirkwood started rallying, and Pat's father was a very successful businessman. And he was all into selling cars and making money. And of course, Pat, you know, was able to get this car, go and do the Donegal rally and whatever. And he says, you know, we're going to do the Donegal rally. So the rally started on Friday. Pat was away on Thursday, going on Friday, rally on Saturday, rally on Sunday. Rally was over, didn't come home to Monday, didn't arrive to Tuesday. So he arrived back into the garage, and his father was there, and he says, "Oh, Pat, you're back." Aye, yeah, I'm there. So how did the rally go? Oh, good, yeah. We won our class. All right, that's good, Pat. So, how much did that cost, Pat? Ah, well, you know, there was, you know, so when did you go, Pat? Well, we went on Thursday. So we were away Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you didn't come back. Today it's Tuesday. Okay, so that's got that amount of days, right? So you needed tires. Aye, we must have got through maybe, I suppose we spent £300 or £400 on tires, in petrol, yeah. And what about the car? Oh, no, the car will probably need a clutch and the gearbox belt, and much of that cost. Probably looking at £3,000, right? Okay, so you left on Thursday, you didn't come back to Tuesday, and you've spent £3,000, yeah, right? So you see that Corsa over there in the showroom? Yeah. How much is that Corsa? It's just £3,000. All right. So you tell me you left on Thursday and you didn't come back to Tuesday. And when you left on Thursday, we owned that Corsa. And now you're telling me we don't own her. This rallying's not good business, Pat. I don't think it's going to work. It did work because Pat made a lot of contacts,
Yeah.
and he sold a lot of cars. And he sold a lot of cars off the back of rallying and whatever. The same as Bertie Fisher spent a lot of money rallying, but he also used that vehicle to do a lot in his business. So he was able to promote his business, and people knew who Bertie Fisher was. So
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword. So it's not always, you don't always see the negative side of it. So you know, it's the racing was there, and then, you know, my Uncle Patsy and Malcolm and whatever, and then there was three other ones. They raced horses. They were jockeys. So I suppose everybody raced. So it was going to happen that I was going to race, I suppose, something at some stage. So first car was a Mini, and of course, my next door neighbour, 2 doors up, was a rally man called Cahill Curley. And
Yes.
he was a bit of a character. He was one of the best rally men, no doubt, in his era in that time. And I remember some of the, you know, the first cars. We used to have a wee shop, so we would walk down, sit on the wall. Whenever you knew there was a rally coming up, and Curly would always appear. He never went to a rally without coming to Irvinstown and then going in the car. He would always drive it. So I suppose the connection was there. I started racing, going to Hill Flames in the Mini, and Mervyn was the main Mini man. So obviously I was going to make my way to Mervyn. So I had a Mini, but we didn't have that good a Mini, but that didn't stop us wanting to go everywhere and drive it. So decided, first of all, we would go and do a few sprints. They were handy because we had Enniskillen sprint and we had the local sprints, and then we had the Hill Flames. So it was inevitable we were going to have the sprints in the Hill Flames. So we were doing that then, and Mervyn was the main Mini man. So in a long-winded way, to be good at something, you have to be with somebody that's better than you. That's how you learn. So down to Mervyn, and we were always looking for bits because this Mini we had wasn't that good. Mervyn had the best Mini because Mervyn was at it when nobody else was at it, and he was the best Mini driver. Mervyn was like basically winning rallies, near enough winning rallies whenever the thing started. So he knew what he was at. He had the experience. So before you can do anything, you need to get the experience. Experience wins. So Mervyn was on the board there, and the troubles was starting, was going, and was in a fair way of going. So Mervyn was in a hot enough part of the place. So I used to go down every evening to Mervyn. Mervyn used to have to bring the Mini up when he was getting ready to maybe go to the Isle of Man, or he was going to the circuit or whatever. So we had the Mini up in at the house, and he was working at it, and he was going to do the Manx Rally, going to the Isle of Man, and I was there helping him, and maybe we were there to maybe 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and he says, "That's near enough ready now. All we have to do is go put her on the boat." And he says, "But I'll bring her down tomorrow morning, and we'll not put her on the sunk yard, we'll change the oil in her." So that was grand. A couple of days later, I heard there was a bomb in Pettigo. Oh, where was it? Well, I think it was in Mervyn's. Thought, oh shit. So went down anyway. Mervyn had took the Mini down to put her on the lift to change the oil. And the boys came and opened the door of the Mini and set a box on the seat of her. And there was a bomb in it. And the bomb went off. And Mervyn's Mini was down in the river. And there was bits of Mervyn's Mini in the river up until a few years ago. So Mervyn left then and went to the Isle of Man. So when he was in the Isle of Man, he built another Mini. He came back from the Isle of Man then, and of course, as soon as he came back, I was back down, and he had built this Mini AAL 3300. It was a blue Mini with a 7-port head, Weber's, the whole works on it. So he was back, and I was back down every evening and whatever. And what about this Mini of yours? And I says, not really getting any better. It's just not that good. He says, well, sure, look, say anything, Hill Flames coming up, pick that Mini. I said, no, I couldn't take that Mini. He says, no, take that Mini and you drive it in Hill Flames. Right, okay. So took Mervyn's Mini, done saying anything, and went good. And then he says, right, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do now? I says, well, I really like to go to Mandela and race her. Right, okay, well, sure, go to Mandela and race her. So thought, right, okay, how are we going to get to Mandela? George Ellett was another great rally man. He was working with me, and said, we're going to go to Mandela and we're going to race this Mini in Mervyn. Right, okay. So how are we going to get to Mandela? I said, we'll drive her to Mandela. A long way to Mandela. It was about 5 hours to go to Mandela. I said, well, if we drive her, we'll get to Mandela and then we'll do the race and we'll drive home again. Right, okay. So we filled up and we heads to Mandela, and we done the race. George got out and he stood on the pit wall and I raced. And we had You had all the top mini racers there, but
Uh-huh.
we were near enough, weren't a million mile away. So we got back into the mini when the race was over and we drove home. So then we decided, you know, we need to do a couple of more races. So Mervyn wasn't that pushed about going out and doing a rally, so he says, "What, race away?" So then there was another race at Mandalo, and there was a petrol shortage on. So thought, shit, there's a petrol shortage, but there's only a petrol shortage in the south. Couldn't be that scarcity of petrol. There's bound to be petrol. There's filling stations everywhere between here and Dublin.
Yeah.
So thought, right, okay, we'll fill it with petrol and go down the road. There'll be a filling station open somewhere. So we started driving, heading for Mandalo, two of us, and we got down and every petrol station was closed. Every filling station was closed. And we got as far as Dublin, and she ran out of petrol. Thought, shit, what are we going to do now? Well, we're this far, it's not that far to Mandalo. If you could get to Mandalo, I think the race is still on, so the price is going to race must have petrol. So if we can get to Mandalo, somebody will lend us enough petrol to do the race. So thought, right, okay, so how are we going to get to Mandalo? So John Scullin, he had a house. And John used to rally, and we used to go and help him on the rally. So John had a house. So we got a phone box, and we got the number for John's house, and we phoned. John used to go to Dublin at the weekend to relax. So we phoned John. John was there. John, we're in some street. What's the name of it? Okay, right. I'll be around in a minute. I'll tow you to Mandalo. So he come around at Fort Capri, got the rope on, and towed us to Mandalo. So we got to Mandalo, and we were there. And we thought, my Uncle Patsy and them was there or whatever. And of course, everybody had backup and had the thing thought out. And thought, somebody's bound to have some spare petrol here. So we got everybody that was doing the race to give us a half a gallon of petrol. And then whenever everybody was done racing, if they had any petrol left over, they were going to give it to us. Yeah. So as we got enough fuel to get back home. So we done this, and then when the race was over, everybody gave us enough fuel, and got the tank filled up. There was a big tank in her. Got the tank filled up, and we started to head for home. There was still no petrol stations open, and we were back across the border at about 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were coming down out of Enniskillen down the Mossfield Street, and the next thing she rolled out, stopped. So I thought, what are we going to do now? Ron nearly lives on down the road here. Ron will be working because he doesn't go to bed. He's got a mini. If we can walk as far as Ron's, we'll get enough petrol and we'll get home. So we walked to Ron's. Light was on, he was working, and we got enough petrol, got it into her, and we got the rest of the way home and then back to work the next morning. So that was Mandelo and the racing. That was the start. So then done a few more races, and Mervyn was back and wasn't really interested in going out and doing any rallies. And the next thing in, he says, take that mini and drive away at it, and we'll see how it goes. All right, okay. He says, hang on, and I'll come out the road and I'll see what way you're driving this thing. So
had he not seen the way you drove it?
No. So he gets me, and
did you drive it the way you drive your green one?
No, it was a blue one. Mervyn's was a blue one. You drive blue ones different. We out the road, and gets in. He says, right, drive. Out the road, and next thing turned in the main road and down whatever. Whoa! What's wrong? You're going too hard. You're going too hard. I don't see how you cannot go too hard. No, you're going too hard. But he was right. But I couldn't. I thought the whole idea was to go as hard as you could.
Yeah.
Was right. There's a result at the end of the story. He says you're going too hard, right? So the next thing was take the mini and drive it, and I drove it. Don't wreck it. Don't smash it. Just drive it. So that got me seat time. So the only way you're going to be good at driving is to get as much seat time as you can. That's the whole trick. So done as many events as we could, done sprints, hill climbs, rallies, did a few rallies, and then we decided, you know, gonna have to go in some other direction because Mervin's gonna need this mini back. So the next thing off the back of the racing came the Honda. And the Honda came off the back of the racing through my uncles because they had got the Honda dealership. And me and Carl decided this Honda is a real good product. It's got a real good engine. It's real good mechanics. So what we're going to do is, we're going to let everybody see how good it is. He says, we're going to rally it. All right, okay. So he rings me up and he says, right, okay, we're going to do a rally in this Honda because it's real good. And I says, right, okay. So what rally are we going to do? We'll do the Circuit of Ireland, and we'll take a car out of the showroom, and we'll take a second-hand car out of the showroom, and we'll put a roll cage in, and we'll put the safety equipment in and whatever, and we'll do the Circuit of Ireland. And that'll let everybody see how reliable this car is. So I was the first man in Ireland to rally a Honda Civic, and that's how it came about. So we take second-hand car out of the showroom, put a roll cage in it, and we go to the Circuit of Ireland. So, of course, Circuit of Ireland then was blind rally, no pace notes. You just drove the road as you saw it. First time I done the circuit was 65 stages. So, thought 65 stages, 5 days, right? So this is going to take a fair bit of going. So we need to think about this. So we did the circuit, finished the circuit, and brought the car back, and then he advertised the car and put it up as a promotion and said, right, now next year we'll go again, but we'll go with a new car. Right, okay, so we'll take the roll cage out and we'll keep the bits, and then he can have another car, and then we'll take it from there. So I thought,
did they sell that first car as a competition car or put it back in as a road car for sale?
So it was sold as a road car, but it was advertised as a car that done the Circuit of Ireland. Yeah.
Fair enough. Brilliant.
Yeah. So I don't know where it ever ended up. I remember the number of it. It was JOA 944. That was the registration of it. So I would say it's long gone. So next year was we decided, right, circuit, we're going to have a brand new car. So preparation, determination. We get ready, have a brand new car for the circuit, and up to Savoy Motors, brand new Civic, and walked in, went to lift her, and Gay was making the number plates, and the number was 1313, and it was the weekend before the circuit. And I says, 1313, I wouldn't like to be getting that number. He says, aye. I says, who's that number for? He says, you. You? I says, no, I'm not taking 1313 to go to a race and do the Circuit of Ireland of 1313, 2 13s. No. So he says, well, you have two choices. Get left home or take 1313. Simple. Shit. Take 1313. All right. Put 1313 on and look at it. But it was the last number I ever had, right? And I still have it. Far away 1313. And I rallied that Civic for I don't know how long. But all the guys that I rallied with, everybody remembered it. And I said, oh, is that 1313? Yeah, that's 1313. So we decided, right, we need to get out here and start driving this thing. So got a few miles on her, right, done the circuit. And then I discovered that okay, so we need to go, we probably could go and do a few races this year as well. So she's reliable. So the whole thing to get miles, to get competition, get experience, we need reliability. Yeah. Everybody come with a load of power, can't get it harnessed, and no driving. So we need reliability, and then we can practice her driving. So, okay, she's not that quick. but if I can keep driving her and driving her as quick as she can go, I'll get a result somewhere along the line with it. So we decided, right, okay, we'll go and race this thing. So we drove over to Mandela, done the race, drove her home, no problem. And then decided we'd do a few rallies. So we do some of the rallies, national rallies, a bit of a warm up for the circuit. So we just drive to the rally, do the rally, and then drive home. That way, there was no hassle, there was no trailer, didn't need a pile of people, whatever. So, right, we decided we'd do the circuit. So we're going to be the only Honda in the rally. So what do? We need a service. We need a service vehicle. So we'll take another Honda. That way, if we need a part, then we can take it off the other Honda and put it onto this Honda. But the Honda was so reliable, it didn't need any parts as long as I wreck it. That was the whole trick. So 65 stages, 5 days, and she was mint. So come back then and decided, right, okay, so this is reliable. It'll do whatever I want to do. So this is the best way to practice driving. So we're going to get plenty of seat time. So we go then and we do as many events as we can. So we go to Mandela, go to Phoenix Park, go to Kirkerson, go to the circuit, go to Donegal, go to the Ulster, go to Cork, go to all these rallies, do the rallies and drive home. So this is reliable. As long as you don't crash, then it's going to stay going. So we don't need the whole entourage and we keep it simple. So we're getting plenty of seat time. And the whole trick was to get more and more mileage. So I remember one weekend doing 3 events in one weekend. So
3?
On Friday night, I did Northern Ireland Championship Rally, 180 mile. And them days it was 180 mile of a stage. So it started at 9 o'clock in Toppings and then a skill. And we finished the next morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock in Manor House. Right. So we did Friday night, 180 mile, finished 6:30, breakfast, down the road to Donegal, did the hills of Donegal, started in Milford, drove her down, did the hills of Donegal. I think we won the class in the hills of Donegal and got something to eat, drove back home again, took the sump yard off her, put a couple of tires on her, put a set of brake pads on her, and got up the next morning and I drove to Mandela. Had her on the front row of the grid at Mandela on Sunday and drove home again on Sunday night.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
That was seat time, right? So the whole trick is seat time. So we progressed from there and started doing more and more events in it, but it didn't handle that well. Didn't handle the best, but if you knew how to drive it, you could still go fast. And you know there's a whole lot of different ways of doing things. And my father was a great experience, a great man. He was a great man. No matter what the problem is, he used to always say, if you think hard enough and you look long enough, you'll see what the problem is. And there's an answer to everything if you look. And there's an answer to it. And it's the same as this COVID and whatever. There will be an answer to it. There is an answer to it. It's just you haven't looked long enough, or nobody has twigged on what's going on here. So I was racing at Mandela, and it's funny how things happen and things progress. And I remember going one day to Mandela, and you know, people do things and they do the same thing, and they do the same thing and they do the same thing, and you know, how do you get better? Well, the only way that you're going to get better at something is you need to think about it. And the only way to get to a higher level of thinking is a higher level of thinking. So you need to think about it, right? So that's the first thing. So I go to Mandela, and the car was just not quick enough. But if it was a wet day, it was quick enough. I could put her on pole on a wet day. And then I remember had done quite a few races at Mandela, and I had done one race. I was on pole position, and the weather was going to dry up. So I remember sitting thinking, when this dries up, these boys are going to go past me here, and that's it. I'm done for. I'm bait. So sitting there, and there was a race run, and we were sitting waiting, and we were lined up along the wall, and the Tyres were going down past, and this was the race in front of us. I was thinking, once it dries up, these boys are away. And how am I going to manage this here? And then I was sitting there and was looking, and I was thinking, your man goes past, and the brake lights goes on, and then your man puts his brake lights on, and then he puts his brake lights on. So your man follows him till he sees the brake lights, and then he knows he's braking. And I was sitting there thinking, whenever this dries up, these boys are going to pass me unless I can get away. So I was thinking, they're going to watch my brake lights. So I thought, what about if I had no brake lights? So I was sitting there thinking, if I open the door, they're going to know what's going to happen here. So I reached down, and the brake light switch is just down at me full. I reached in, I could feel the two wires, and I just kicked the two wires out. Next thing, race over, wagged us out on the pole, sitting there. And the next thing, the race started. I thought, right, I need to get a good start here, get away. It was about 20 cars of the race. And it goes into the first corner down into the harp, left the brake, and as late as it could, brake, turned it, and thought, I need to get out of here. I just looked in the mirror, and it was like, like a lorry had tipped a load of ducks in the middle of the road. You need to start punching in good laps here. flat out. 10 laps or one race. Come back in, and thought, shit. And they were just coming, they were getting closer and closer, and the flag went out. And I pulled in, and I come down the pit lane, and just as I was coming down the pit lane, there's a guy called Eddie Fitzgerald. Eddie's still about. Eddie was the clerk of the course. And I saw Eddie standing in the pit lane. And just as I was coming down, he just goes, stop, sat there. And I thought, what's wrong? He wagged everybody else on, wagged on, and of course it was all pleased with himself. And what's wrong here? And the next thing, oh shit, the brake lights. So I'm better not open the door, so I had my hand down, the two wires in my hand. I was just about to block him in, and the door opened. It was Eddie. He says, what are you doing? I had the two wires in my hand. I says, nothing, Eddie. He says, never, as long as you live, pull a stunt like that again. I says, what? He says, what? He says, you see what happened down there? I says, Eddie, they're stupid enough to follow me in. It was good enough. That's all it took to win. Eddie remembered it, and I was maybe, I was back racing and was still doing races, and Eddie remembered it, and I met Eddie somewhere. I think it was when my Uncle Patsy died. I was at the funeral, and Eddie had come to the funeral, and he was standing behind me, and I could hear this boy saying, "Is them brake lights working?" But that's all it took to win. So, you need a higher level of thinking, and it goes right on ahead down it comes right down the pecking order. And if you look at, my uncle's raced motorbikes.
Yeah.
If you look at Joey, Joey went to the Isle of Man, and Joey had his first win in the Isle of Man. And what they do was they went round and they pulled in and they refueled.
Yeah.
2 laps, refueled, pulled in, refueled. So that's the way it was done. Everybody done that.
Yeah.
So Joey goes over and he looks at it, and Mick Grant, Ron Haslam, Honda. Joey comes over with John Ray's Yamaha. Didn't say anything to anybody. Just looked what was going on. So 2 laps full in fuel, 2 laps full in fuel. That's 3 times I have to stop. So he went home and he cut the top off the tank and he welded the half another tank onto her.
Huh?
So he didn't have to stop. So race started and he had to manage the weight, fuel, the tank, but it meant he didn't have to stop. And then boys pulled in for fuel. Gerry went straight through. Everybody looked, thought, "Shit, man, forgot to stop for petrol. He's not going to get far." And then he comes back around again, and I go, "He didn't stop. Why did he do that?" Simple, higher level of thinking.
Yeah.
So everybody stopped for fuel because everybody else stopped. But when Joey looked at it, he figured out you don't have to stop if you have enough fuel. So same with the brake lights. So then we went on and done some more rallies, more experience, got better at it, and then I was able to go do the rallies and then still race because the car was reliable. And then I remember going, you always have to turn a disadvantage into an advantage. I remember us going race at the Phoenix Park. Phoenix Park was brilliant, but it doesn't happen now because health and safety and all them things is not alike.
Yeah.
Right? So we go to race at the Phoenix Park, did the Ulster Rally the week before in the Civic, and I thought every time we stop, meet the boys, we've got to get out and open this flap on the back and put in fuel. And I just thought some of these days when the boys were pulling out that key, to put it in the back to open the flap, they're going to break this key and then there's going to be no way of getting this car going. So I thought I need to get a spare key, and then I'll get a spare key and we'll put it in the flap at the back.
Yeah.
And then boys will be able to put in the fuel and I'll be able to sit there and not have to switch the car off and blah 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 whatever. So we go to the Phoenix Park and they decide they're going to do something different at the Phoenix Park. All right, okay. So what are they going to do? Don't know. So then before the race, they decided they're going to have a Le Mans start. So they're going to line all the cars up down the main street, big long main street, and they're going to line all the cars up. So you're going to have to stand on the other side of the track. You're going to run across, you're going to get into the car, and then you're going to take off. And that's the start of the race. Thought, right, okay. So thought then that's not going to work because boys are going to jump in and they're not going to put on their seat belts because they're going to be in too big a hurry and there's no way they're going to be able to police that. So thought, right, okay, what are they going to do now? So they're going to let you sit in the car and you put on your seat belts and they're going to take out the ignition key and they're going to make a mechanic stand over on the other side of the road, and whenever they drop the flag, the mechanic will run across the road and he'll hand you the key in through the window, and then you put in the key and start the car. Thought, right. I think nobody has a spare key. Thought, I have a spare key for the petrol cap in the back. And I says to your man, I says, right, I says, we have an advantage here. And what's that? He says, they're going to take all the keys out. You know, we have a spare key for putting in the fuel. Yeah. So all you have to do is you run across the road and you keep running and just fire the key in through the window. And I have the key in my hand. I put it in, turn the key, and I'm away. So we have to have the jump on these boys.
Huh?
Is don't you start now before I get across the road? This is no. I don't trust you. He says, if I'm halfway across that road and you start, you're going to run over me. I says, no. So everybody was lined up. They took out the ignition keys. I had the spare one. And the next thing, flag dropped. The man runs across the road. And I just put the key in the ignition and started her. And then he realized this boy's going to take off. He turned and run back. And I thought, need to use the advantage here. And I just took off. Halfway into Dublin before the boys get going. There was a row then about where this key come out of.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
That was a race at the Phoenix Park. Every year we wanted a race at the Phoenix Park because the race at the Phoenix Park was good, and it was a different discipline. And then there was more rallying. And the rallying was better. The reason I like rallying better than the racing was the racing we didn't get as much driving. So you had to go to Kirkus and you stayed there, and you had to wait on the race, and you got one race, and if anything happened, then you were there all day, and there was very little driving.
Yeah.
So, thought, right, okay, we need to get more driving. The whole thing is seat time and having the crack. So anyway, the rallying is more entertaining because it's more of an adventure than it is anything else. So 65 stages. Whenever you were finished, you could nearly do anything with the car because you were like part of it. So I thought, right, okay, well, we need to get faster, we need to get quicker, and what it was good enough for it to win whatever we needed. It was competitive wherever we went with it. So then I thought, right, okay, we need to go and do some gravel bodies. So the forest is just it's really rough tarmac. So we get some gravel tires, and I'll do some forest rallies in it. And it was competitive in the forest, very competitive. So we had an all-round package where I could go racing, I could do a gravel rally, I could do a tarmac rally, I could do a national rally, I could do an international rally. So it was a perfect car. So whenever you were done, it was you were competitive. So if you don't get enough seat time, it takes you too long to get going. So the best place to do that is to come back to a sprint. So you go to a sprint and you look at it and you say, what do we need to do here? You need to make the perfect start, and then you need to do the perfect lap. And then you need to be in a class where you're going to have good competition. So if you look at the starts, 2.8, 2.6, 2.5, that's a good start. If you look at Oliver four-wheel drive, it'd be down at a 1.9 on a good day.
Yeah.
And that's quick. So the whole thing is to make the perfect start and not break a drive shaft, not make a mess, or your transmission, whatever. There's just a way of doing it. So that's good. So you transfer that over to a rally. So if you have 65 stages, you've got 65 starts.
Yeah.
So if you make the perfect start, then that's good. You've got an advantage before you even get the second gear. So you can use that to your advantage. If you look at some of the guys, whatever, and you see them starting, you just think you left a half a second there. And if you're in a real good race and you're in a tight competition and you're racing Gerry or whatever, and there's maybe 0.4 in it, 0.2 and a 0.1 in it, right? That could be in the start line.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, whatever, when Gary's coming along there, and I'm coming in a Mini, and he's in a Mini, and Carl's in a Mini, and Mervyn should be in a Mini, and whatever. So we're basically same yoke. So who makes the perfect start? So the McGarrity are there, and that's real good, because if you analyze it and look at it, you'll see your start time, and then you'll see your first sector time, and then you'll see your speed, and then you'll see your speed to the top, and then you'll see your speed to the bottom, and then you'll see your second lap. So if you take it and study it, you'll see where you can be quicker. You shouldn't be quicker, because if you have everything figured out, you should be able to walk up, just look at it and do it. That's why I want to go back to a sprint. So just look at it and do it. So if somebody's good at doing a sprint, they should be able to walk up and do that time to within 300s, 400s of, it doesn't matter how many times you go around there.
Yeah.
So that's good. But if you look at it, people will look at it and say, oh, that's a sprint. Yeah, okay. So if I plant trees around there, what does that make it? That makes it a stage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not any different to a sprint, is it? If I take the trees away, it's a sprint. But if I
Yeah.
put the trees back, then it's a stage.
Yeah.
So you see where we're going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we go on down the road, and I then started to go and take me Honda and done the rallies or whatever. And then I decided, right, okay, I need to do more rallies, and then I need to get as much experience as I can. So we go to a rally. They had a Northern Ireland Championship, and it was basically whenever the Northern Ireland Championship was going, it was 180 mile of a stage. So you had 5-6 rounds, starting in Cookstown, starting usually always beginning of the year. Cookstown, Dungannon, Mid-Antrim, Enniskillen, Coleraine. So you had a round nearly everywhere in the north. So it was a 180 mile of a stage, and you had a petrol halt in the middle. So I figured, right, okay, I'm going to do the Northern Ireland Championship, and I can do it in this Honda. And I was working with a company in Coleraine, and I was traveling up and down the road and whatever. And then things changed, and I was ready to do the championship at the beginning of the year, and I thought, shit, okay, what are we going to do now? I have no job here, so I just decided that's it, no more work. Thought, okay, well, that's the championship knocked on the head. And then I come home and thought, well, that's not the championship knocked on the head. It's only the championship knocked on the head if you allow it to be knocked on the head. So I thought, what do we do? As well, okay, we need to think about this. So we need a higher level of thinking, right? So I'll become a professional rally driver, right? So I won't do anything on a rally, and therefore I have to win this championship.
Right.
So we'll sit down, and then you need a good co-driver, and there is maybe only a half a dozen with enough experience to be able to drive flat out and be able to read the road from a map and not make any mistakes. So this was 180 mile of a stage, but you needed the right man with you. And I was talking to Bill Adair, and Bill says, hey, you need to get somebody good in the car if you're going to do that championship, especially if you're going to win that championship. He says, there's a guy in works in Belfast called Gerry, and he has set with a whole pile of those boys. And he was looking at doing that championship. He says, he's your man. So made contact with Derek, and Derek says, yeah, I'll do the championship, no problem. So off he goes, first round, and flat out. And he was able to read off the notes, perfect, 100, whatever, blah, 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 turn in there. And first night was a mistake, and we finished second or third.
Jeez.
Should have won that. So next night, come back, and we were at the front again, and there was a mistake. What's going on here? And he made a mistake. And then the next night, we were near enough up at the front. We had Kenny Colbert, Kevin O'Keefe, Davy Greer, Trevor Haydock, all the sharpshooters, right?
Yeah.
And thought, why had I made that mistake? We had 3 maximum scores here. And then there was a recess in the summer, and we stopped. Thought, we need to get this together here. So in between times then I did Donegal, did the Ulster, did all the other rallies, and did a few races, and then it was back to the championship. And I said, we went back, and said, Derek, we made a mistake there. We should have won. He says, I know, that was my mistake. He says, well, you know, how do we fix it? He says, well, whenever you started driving, he says, I looked at this Honda Civic and I thought, there's no way this thing is going to go around that corner at that speed. We're going to crash here. And he says, I made a mistake. But he says, as I got used to it, I realized maybe we're not going to crash. So now I trust you enough to be able to go at that speed and not crash. I said, well, you know, we've got 3 rallies left here, so we need a win. And next rally, no mistakes. Maximum score. Next rally, no mistakes, maximum score. And we ended up winning the championship. We ended up winning the Northern Ireland Road Rally Championship, which was basically 180 mile at the stage.
Yeah.
And I thought that was good. That was, you know, that was satisfying. I set out to do that there, and I done it. Drove to the rally and drove home again. Met Derek, and he always came in a car, and he had a briefcase, and he picked it up, and he had a wee scone and biscuit, and we sat and thought about what we were going to do, and just done it. And yeah, total reliability. That's what won. So we ended up winning the championship, and thought, right, okay, what are we going to do now? So thought probably do some gravel rallies. So done some few gravel rallies, more experience. And then the next thing was Kevin O'Kane was competing then. Kevin won the championship the next year. I think maybe Kenny won it the next year. Thought, right, I need to start, you know, looking at doing all the things. So Kevin come back and hadn't done any rallies, and he says, what about looking after this car? But okay, so we go and do a few rallies. Right, okay, well, I'll leave the car up and you get the car ready. We go and do a few rallies, and no problem. So he come with the Sunbeam, looked around and prepared it, got it ready, and we went and we done Forestry Championship in the south, and won a few rallies. And the Sunbeam was fairly quick Sunbeam. So I would prepare the car, he would come, would load her up, get into the van, and the two of us would head off to the rally, do the scrutiny. He would get in, bring a co-driver, or meet a co-driver down there, and then we'd unhook a trailer, and I'd use the van, chase car, start of the stage, finish the stage, start of the stage, finish the stage, load her up and back up the road on Sunday night, back to work on Monday. And that went on for a bit, and then the next thing was Sunbeam had a problem when 4-wheel drive cars were starting to come, and he says, I need a 4-wheel drive car. I'm going to have to get a 4-wheel drive car, so, you know, that's going to be the way forward. So we got an extra Cosworth, and we started doing Forestry Championship because the tarmac was too much hassle. It was good because you only need 4 tires. If you're going to go to the tarmac, you need medium tires, soft tires, hard tires, intermediate tires, cup tires, non-cup tires, and you need a truck to carry the whole thing. So that was it. It was simple, and we had plenty of rallies. Then we did the Lakeland, the Bushwhacker, Lakeland stages, Cookstown, all the Northern Ireland Championship rallies. So there was loads of rallies going on. And in the meantime then, I didn't have time to sort of use my own car, and I sort of put it away, and then I started to get busy. And then the next thing, my uncle Patsy, the Suzuki came along, and Suzuki decided that they were stopping making motorbikes, not stopping making motorbikes, but they were also going to start making cars. So he took the Suzuki agency, and so my uncle Harold had the Pond agency, my uncle Patsy had the Suzuki agency. So the next thing was then, right, okay, we need to take this Suzuki and see how good it is. So Harry Cathcart lived not too far away from me, so Harry was a great man for rallying and different cars and whatever. And my uncle Patsy was down at the weekend, and Harry was over, and he says, "Oh, I hear you're taking on these Suzukis. What about one of them for the go rallying?" So he says, "Well, sure, we will do a deal, and you can take a Suzuki, and your man here to get it ready and so you can go rallying in it. So Harry gets the Suzuki, and same thing. There wasn't really any competition parts, so we had to source them and make them and whatever. And Harry started rallying the Suzuki, and again it was reliable, and it was a very successful.
What sort of Suzuki was it? The Swift GTI?
The Suzuki Swift, yeah.
They were a great wee article. 1300cc or something, weren't they? 1400?
1300, yeah, 1300. So I started preparing the cars for Harry, and Harry started doing rallies, and Harry was always finishing. And then Tom Lawler came along. Tom's still a great competitor and a great man. And
Tom actually has just come up on my screen there about 30-45 seconds ago to say that he's watching. As I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and then you've just mentioned his name. Perfect timing, Tom.
So Tom had a Suzuki Swift then for Ernie, and Ernie was rallying, and then it was nearly like we had a one-week championship, and they were all Suzukis.
Yeah.
So the next thing then, Mark Fisher come along, and he was watching what was going on, and was obviously going to be getting involved in rallying, because obviously he was brought up through the ranks with Bertie and whatever. So Mark comes along then, and the next thing Ernie and Harry and then was at a thing dusting a Suzuki, and Mark says, right, I need to get some driving done, but I can only do so much, and then I'm going to have to go back to college. And I says, well, you need a Suzuki Swift because it's reliable, and all you have to do is bring it home, watch it, and you can go again. So we got one of Harry's old Suzuki Swifts, done a deal, and he started rallying in it, and that was his first experience rallying. And he went across and started to do some rallies, and then of course he had to go back to college, and the car had to be got rid of. So then we started going back doing some bigger rallies, and then the Suzuki was the car to do a championship in because it was reliable, it was affordable, and it was very competitive. So I think we had built maybe 20 of them, and they were all around the place. So I started, we were getting the roll cages, we're making the suspension, and doing some modifications, but keeping it within the regulations for Group N. So where I went to Donegal, and it was like Suzuki Swift, you know, all in that class. So it was a good learning curve for a whole lot of people to start rallying. They want to get, you know, into the heavy stuff and have something that was reliable, and be able to go and do the rally and go home again. And then John McLinchy, he was a Suzuki dealer down in Convoy, and then he used to come on to me and say, right, okay, I want to build a Suzuki Swift here, I want to do Donegal. So he was the main man in Donegal in the Suzuki Swift, and then all the boys started to follow suit, and then he decided that he was going to do the national championship. So we built the car to do the national championship, and he ended up winning the national championship outright in the Suzuki Swift, because he had won his class every day. He had a maximum score, and you were able to win the national championship if you were fit to win your class every day. So he ended up in the national championship outright on the Suzuki Swift. So we went on from there, and then the next thing was Mark Fisher arrived back, and then he started to come on stream, and he was only across the road from me, and then we were getting this car ready and that car ready, and he would come along and see what was going on. So he says, right, okay, I'm going to start driving. So he would come with me on some rallies and watch what was going on and get an experience, whatever. So the next thing then was he got a Micra, and they were in a Shell scholarship. Shell scholarship was for the drive this Micra, do X amount of rallies, and then go on from there. And then he was over all the time, because I was probably had the most experience of front wheel drive car with driving the Honda.
Right.
And that went on, and he watched what was going on for a long time, and we were racing and rallying and competing and whatever, and he was back and forward, and every day or every night he was over in the garage because I was working, whatever. And then the next thing he goes, right, I'm going to do this McGarrity championship, and he says I need to get experience. So he says, I want to use your experience to shortcut my learning time. So I thought, that's smart, that's clever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's gonna make the mistakes yourself. You're gonna let me show you how not to make the mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, all right. So will you come with me? We're gonna go and do this rally. Right, okay. And then he had me not tortured, but he was there all the time thinking, how are we going to be better? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? And then
Yeah.
I was saying to you, you need a higher level of thinking to get to a higher level. So he was all the time thinking, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do? And then he would go and do a rally, and then he'd come back and he'd sit down and say, right, Monday night, I'll be over. I'd sit down. See when I come down here, see when I come down there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, well, that's because this and this and this and this. And then the relationship grew and whatever.
Uh-huh.
We used to go sometimes, and we used to race down at a track in Adair. This guy built this track, and there was a guy called Charlie, and he used to come to the track, and I got to know Charlie quite well. And then I lost track of him. And the next thing was, one day Charlie was going past, and he called in, Charlie McGarrity. And he says, I haven't seen you in a long time. You're still here. Yeah. What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm making these wee cameras, wee tiny cameras. And he says, there's a boy in the town in his pub, and he thinks that somebody's maybe picking something out of the pub. He's not sure. So he heard that I have these wee cameras, and I'm going to put these cameras in, and I've got a recorder and whatever, and we're going to have a look and see.
Yeah.
He says, look, I'm just starting this here. There's my card. So I set the card on the bench or whatever, and the next thing, that evening, Mark Fisher was over. What's new today? Oh, not a whole lot. Saw the card. What's this? Oh, this is that boy we used to race at the track with. He says, what's this here? Something, He says, he's doing them wee cameras. I says, going to put a camera in down whatever, and he's able to record with it. So he went away and he thought from it, he came back and he says, hey, that'll be quite a job in the car. I says, that is about it, what? I says, but how big is it? I don't know. I says, well, need to see. He says, phone him. So we phoned him the next day, Charlie, how big's the camera? It's about this or whatever. Could we put it in the car? Yeah, I probably could, but we'd need brackets or whatever. So I phoned him back and said, we need brackets. He says, right, okay, that's not a problem. I'll make the brackets because we have everything in. That's not a problem. You get the camera, you get them over. And then that way, I don't have to waste your time and my time, me trying to explain to you what's happening on the stage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's a good way of thinking. Right,
Yeah.
So Charlie comes up, throws the camera, Mark looks at it and says, right, okay, I can make a bracket for that. I would put it in the car. Can you put the recorder in that it'll record? Yeah. We'll put a switch up there and we'll just switch it on and off and then you record and whatever. So then we can go further with this here. You see, whenever we're going to do a rally, we can record that rally and then I can keep all them stages. And then whenever we're going to do them stages, I'll bring that tape over to you and you can look at it and you can see what way to set the car up. That's a good idea. So then we have a link, right? So we've got more information then to do the job. Right, that's good. So that's how the in-car camera started. So Charlie come along then with the camera, Mark made the things, and then Charlie called it micro cam because it was small.
Yeah.
And Charlie started going to all the rallies, and Charlie started putting the cameras in the cars, and then we had the footage, and we were able to obviously do what we were doing. and then come back, and then of course he came with the footage then on Monday evening. We had to sit down and analyse it, and then we would look at it and say, okay, you see what happened here? I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. So now you know. So okay, so you've learned from that. So now Charlie has a business putting in cameras. Now we're getting better at what we're doing, and you're getting more experience. So you have to be better. Now we have to win more. So we come back from that, and he did the micro championship, camera in, footage from every stage, got it all logged, and then he kept looking at it and watching it and watching it and watching where he made the mistakes and make, you know, we just had a library. So then thought, right, okay, how am I going to get better at this here? So we're going to get better at it if we're all the same. What do you mean by that? Well, if everybody's in the same car, right? So you have to get better, because if you're not good, then your man's going to be better than you. He's going to win, and you're not.
Yeah.
It's level playing field, right? Okay, so we need to find a one-make championship. Yeah. So we'll do the maker. So you come with me, you prepare the car, and we'll go and we'll do it. Okay. So we did that. We did the maker championship, and then at the end of the year, I think we decided to do Rally GB. So we come over then, and we're thinking, you know, what do we need to do for Rally GB? We need to think about this. We need to cover everything. You know, whatever's going to crop up, we need to have it covered. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to do all these long stages. So if we have a problem with the car, we're going to need all the spares in the car. So we need to make sure that we have a wishbone, front arm, bottom arm, drive shaft, track rod, everything. We build everything in. So what's going to happen then? Well, I don't know. We do the rally. So Rally GB is always at a bad time of the year, and there's a chance that the weather will be bad. So what's the worst it can be? It can snow, right? So we need to think about snow, right? So what do? Well, the only way we get through snow is if we had snow tires, but if you haven't got snow tires, we need snow chains, right? I know somebody has snow chains, right? Okay. So will you go and get the snow chains, and we'll have them, right? No problem. So that should be everything covered, right? So we go, we get the car loaded up. He goes, here's the rally. I have a high-ace fan. It's not a snow chains car. Head for the boat, off the boat. And as soon as we get off the boat, we thought, look at the sky. It's a bad colour. As soon as we got, what happened? It snowed. So everybody was stuck in the snow. So we got out and we got the snow chains out. We got them onto the high-ace fan, and we were everywhere. We didn't get stuck anywhere. We were everywhere. But the next problem we had was the Micra didn't have that good attraction. So he was driving away, and we're having a problem in the snow. So we started down in Chester. First service was up at Carlisle. That was nearly the full way up to the top.
Yeah.
And we got up there, and there was a service on big service. Was an hour and a half. What are we going to do? We're going to struggle here. The boys are falling by the wayside like flies. So we don't have a diff. We need a diff as well. The only way we're going to fix that is if we can get to Sunday and we have an hour and a half service, we can take the gearbox out and we'll put a diff in her. How are we going to do? Well, the Nissan guys are down there and they'll have a spare diff. So if you get into service, and it was like -7 at this stage. So right. So we get in, get the sun card off. We'll drop the gearbox. I'll get a diff from Tomo. Pull the gearbox out, and we drop the gearbox on the ground. Split the box. Diff out. Not done. Bolts out. Old diff out. New diff in. Back in. Gearbox back in. Up the road. Then we had traction. And he was like passing maybe 4 or 5 cars a stage.
Jeez.
Simply because we had the grip. So that worked. And that was the end of the year. So the next year we decided, right, okay, I need to keep doing this 1 week championship because that's the only way I'm going to get better. So the only other way I'm going to get better is, you know, on down the road, whenever I want to be a good driver, all these stages they use in Rally GB, and then the same stages when we're doing these rallies in Wales.
Yeah.
So if we go and we do them rallies, whenever I'm good enough then and we get to the World Championship, I'll have experience of all them stages. Yeah, that's good thinking. So we'll go in the Micra and we finish second again in the Micra. And said, right, okay, well, you know, that's the Micra. We need to find something else. So became a SEAT championship, SEAT Super 6, where the 6 drivers and six Super 6 SEATs. SEAT were in the World Championship. Gwyneth Evan was the works driver.
Yeah.
So it was going to be like 5 or 6 rallies. So he says, right, okay, we need to get into this SEAT championship. So we got a Super 6. So what it was a SEAT Cupra, but it basically had a lot of standard parts on it. So the drive shafts wasn't really upgraded. It had more power. The gearbox was the weak link. The reason the gearbox was the weak link was the engine was moving and making the drive shafts come out of sync, out of line. Yeah. So looked at that. First rally was Bournemouth, way down in the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but the reliability wasn't there. So anybody could have won this championship because the cars were breaking down. It was a case of being smart. So we weren't going to learn anything about driving. It was a case of being clever and trying to finish. So we finished second in the SEAT championship. And the drive in the SEAT championship was a drive in Rally GB. So we ended up going to Rally GB on the SEAT, which wasn't going to work because it wasn't reliable enough, because Rally GB was very difficult, very tough, very hard stages. This SEAT's not going to work. It's not going to win. Like, we're not going to learn anything from this. So we just need to finish. So funny story. We did Rally GB, and the SEATs were done away with. And of course, he looked at it and said, okay, we need to get some from this here. So he says, I've agreed to buy the SEAT whenever this rally's over. So we did the rally, didn't do that well, and we came home with the SEAT, and there was just a couple of wee men into my garage, and he said, you know, what are they going to do with them cars whenever they're done? I said, they're going to sell them. He says, I'd be interested in buying that car. And I says, well, if you want to sell that car, I have somebody that'll buy it. Right, okay, right, I'll do a deal for the car, and then you can sell it to your man. So we bring it back and make sure it's right, and new drive shafts in it and everything right for him. So we told it to the wee man. The wee man come, and he came with an envelope and the money in it, the cash. So he give me the money, and I give it to Mark. And of course, Bertie was rallying Rory. Rory was sitting with him.
Yeah.
Mark gives the money to his father, to Bertie. And of course, he handed it to him and says, hey, there's the money for that car. All right, okay. So he took the envelope and he put it in his bag. And I think Rory was there, and he says, Rory, stick that in that bag. And stuck it in the bag, put it in the rally car, whatever. And the next thing was they were in Killarney, doing the rally in Killarney. Bert flat up Mons Gap, and they went off, rolled into the bushes. And the next thing was, shit. Bert says, where's all the money coming from? He says, well, we must have had a money tree. Jesus. And I says, oh, you give me an envelope. That envelope was in my bag. The envelope burst and all the money came out. Bert had given the envelope and forgot all about it. So the money was in the car the whole day. Anyway, we moved on from the seat, and the next thing was he come back and he says, right, okay, Puser's going to have a one-make championship.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do this one-make championship. This one we have to win. So we were second in the seat, second in the maker. We'll have to win the Puser one.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be 32 cars, all the same. Right, okay. So we need to get the car, and we need to get it over here, and you need to build it. Right, okay. So we'll pick up the car at Coventry, and we'll bring it over here, and we need to build it to the regulations, and then they're all inspected. So
Yeah.
what they did was they had 32 cars, 32 kits. So we got the car, got somebody to collect the car, get it over, got it into the garage, stripped it, took all the standard parts out, and then we had a cup car kit. So basically it consisted of suspension, drive shafts, engine, modified cams, modified ECU, blah, 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 different gearbox, different clutch. So it was all built. And we had maybe half a dozen boys from here that were going to do the championship. One of them was Niall McShay.
Yes.
Niall McShay, Mark, and then we had Rory Galligan. Rory Galligan had been in the 205 Peugeots. So anyway, we got the car built, and thought, right, okay, so we need to use all our experience to win this year, because there's a big prize for winning this championship. Yeah. Okay. So first round was Silverstone. So everybody went to Silverstone. All the cars were inspected, and they were all signed off that they were all meeting the regulations, whatever. So you had Rory Galligan, we had Paul Crossan, we had Niall McShay, we had all the guys there, and then of course you had the guys that had a big budget and a lot of money that would be coming from other championships. One of them was Marcus Dodd. Marcus came with 2 cars, so he had a tarmac car and a gravel car. And
Okay.
basically thought, you know, it was only a matter of turning up and just driving around these clubs here and getting the job done. So first it was at Silverstone. Thought, right, okay, what do we have to do here? Well, we're not allowed to use anything on the gravel tires. Right, okay, so try and use gravel tires on the tarmac, and it's just like, you think the car was jacked up. It's not good. So too much rubber. Right,
Yeah.
okay, how are we going to work this? Well, we need to get the tires and get them fitted, right? So we need to get an advantage. So what do? Well, there was a guy used to do the Sprints and Hill Flames called Clive Hamilton. He's down outside Cookstown. I remember driving down, and the stock car boys used to go to a guy that was next door to him that made tires, and they used to get him to shave the tires. So you had 6 mil of rubber on the tire, so we shave it down to 1 mil.
Right.
So the tires were stable, and you have more traction and you have more grip. Right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's what we'll do. So we'll have to have an advantage here. So we'll take the brand new tires, we'll take them to the Cookstown, we'll get them shaved, then we'll put them on, and then we'll go to Silverstone. Right?
Yeah.
So we go to Silverstone. And I think we were second at Silverstone. Should have won, but we didn't. It was a guy called Martin Sampson.
Right.
He won. Rory Galligan was there. Rory was there or thereabouts. He wasn't slow. So the next one then was way down in the south of England. So basically took this car, drove it, and we decided, right, okay, we need seat time. Next rally's gravel rally, so we'll go to 5 Mil Town. We'll do 5 Mil Town, and we'll get some seat time in this year. And
Yeah.
it just felt not good. Settings was all wrong. Suspension didn't feel good. Setup didn't feel good. Wasn't good. Right. So we'll go to 5 Mil Town. We'll do 5 Mil Town, and we'll see where we'll go from there. So
Yeah.
we do down to the next round, which was Somerset or whatever, and we were leading, and we came into a chicane, so there was big long steering arms on them, steering arms were maybe this length. So in the chicane, wheel turned out, wheel touched the chicane, and because of the length of the steering arm, just broke the steering arm. That was it.
Right, yeah.
So we come back and said, right, okay, that's our one non-finish. We can't not finish anymore. We've got to win the rest of them.
Yep.
So the next one was Tarmac. So we went to Sligo, done Tarmac Rally for a test. The next round of it was Ulster Rally. And then went to Ulster, and Rory was strong in the Ulster. Very strong in the Ulster. It was between him and Rory in the Ulster. And we came into service, and Mark was leading, and he says to me, we have a problem. I says, what's the problem? He says, the gears are just like all rubber. So we were in service in Auckland, and we were sitting in the service, and Rory Gallagher's service crew was beside us, and the Peugeot guys carried all the spares. So the next thing, Mark came on the radio, this gear linkage is a problem. I've no gears now at all.
Right.
So I said, right, okay, you need to get a gear, get her into a gear and get her into service. So the guys heard that there was a problem. So this was the start of the Peugeot. So any problems were going to start to show up because we were now just halfway through the year.
Yeah.
So Peugeot guys were in the van, and some of Gallagher's boys thought this is going to be a problem. So they went to the service van and got the spare gear linkage. And I ran down to Peugeot van, spare gear linkage. No, don't have one. But I thought you had one. I had one, but somebody got it. Who got it? Rory Gallagher's boys got it. Shit. So thought, right, okay, what are we going to do now? So come into service, and I said to Mark, we don't have this gear linkage. Somebody else got it. He says, who's got it? He says, Rory's got it. What are we going to do? Well, he's got it in case he needs it. So what are we going to do? Okay, so we need to think here. The only thing we can do is weld it, right? Okay, so get it out. We'll weld it. We got it out. We're in Auckland Street, down the road to a garage. Took it in and started to weld it. But when we started to weld it, it was like galvanized. It was spitting and whatever, and we couldn't get a good weld on it. And took it back, put it back in. And I says, I don't know that this is going to hold. But I says, the only thing we can do is, I know that the man up in Lissaski's got a smashed one. And I says, if John McHugh's still in the workshop, in your workshop, you phone John McHugh, tell John McHugh to go to Lissaski, get the gear linkage, and meet me at the Ballygolly roundabout. And we were in service in Auckland. I says, we'll weld it back in, and you go and do the next stage. So we welded it, put it back in, he went into the next stage, and it broke. So put her into the gear and got through the stage, and we'd drop maybe a minute or whatever. In the meantime, John had went to Lissaski, come back, met me at Ballygolly roundabout, and I had come with the one out of the damage gear. Met him on the road, jacked her up, sunk her off, and put the gear linkage in. Is we're snookered here. I says, well, you know, we've nothing to lose now. All you can do now is just back out. So we're fifth or sixth. So he drove drove a blinder. So back up to second, and Rory was leading, and into the last stage, and I was at the end of the last stage, and the next thing, Rory didn't come out, and Mark come out. And I said, well, where's Rory? He says, I don't know. He's stopped in there. He seems to have a problem. And I says, well, what does that mean? He says, well, that's not the way that I want to win, but it looks like we're going to win if he doesn't come out. So says, I don't know what's happened to him, but we were the only ones that had 2 spare drive shafts. He says, it looks like he's broken a drive shaft. I says, right, okay. He says, if he's broken a drive shaft, give him one. I says, right, okay. So he drove on, but Rory came out, but he hadn't broken the drive shaft. He'd taken the centre out of the clutch.
Right.
So the boys started to push him, and pushed him with the front of another car. Obviously, an MSA steward or whatever came along, saw it, and said, "You excluded." So we came to the finish, and Rory, the steam was up, and he thought, you know what? There's only one man who's done that, and that was Mark. But he hadn't, because Mark had said he needs a drive shaft, give it to him. So Mark rang him and said, look, you know, that's not the way we want. He wouldn't answer the phone. So he says, look, I'm going to ring him again, and if he doesn't answer me, then, you know, so be it. I says, right, okay. So he didn't answer him, and they didn't speak, and that was it. Mark ended up winning the championship. We went to the last round, which was the Bulldog. He ended up winning the championship. The prize was 2 drives in the World Championship. One was in Greece, and the other was in Rally GB in 206 WRC. So in the 206 WRC, then you had Marcus Gronholm and Richard Burns, and there was really no privateers had been in a 206. So it was a big prize. The prize was worth maybe, I think the prize was worth maybe 350 or 400,000. So we get 2 rallies. So we go then and test the 206. And, so they had a satellite team running the 206. So we went to first test, which was at Phil Price's rally school. And I arrived over, he says, right, okay, you're coming with me. Okay, so Peugeot team there, blah, 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 whatever. And the next thing, car wouldn't start. Thought, shit, what's going on here? The show wouldn't go. Spent the whole day, couldn't get her to go. So they wasted at Phil Price's. This is not good. So thought, right, well, they must know what they're doing. Well, obviously, they didn't know what they were doing, because what they had done was just, this was a prize drive, and there's a satellite team. That's a 206, but it just seems like it's a test car. So we ended up going to Acropolis. Car went about 2 stages, and it went to fire. So we come back home from Acropolis, and then it was Rally GB. But on the in-between times, we needed seat time. So we decided we need to do some rallies. So Kieran come along, Kieran McGarrity. Kieran was a big supporter of Birdie through Tough Mac or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was, you know, Tough Mac wasn't here to have except through the rallying. But you know, it spread the word out to a whole lot of people that weren't involved in rallying. You know what that is. So Kieran had this Mitsubishi Evo. So Mark said, right, okay, why don't we take this Evo and do a few rallies? So we did a few rallies in the Evo just to keep the hand in, and then we went to Rally GB. So we had a week before Rally GB testing in Sweetland. So me and him into this Peugeot, whatever, and drives it, whatever, up and down a couple of runs, just give in. Just can't drive this thing. Why not? I just have a bad feeling with it. It's really, really quick, but I just can't drive it. Right, okay, so we're gonna need to get it jailed around until the way we know it needs to be. So right, okay, so we have an engineer, and sort of try to say, okay, I know my driver, I know what way he wants a thing, and I know we've got the, and this is coming from Marcus Gronholm, whatever, but Marcus Gronholm's a professional driver. You know, this man's not a professional driver yet, but you know, we need to make it that he can drive it. So eventually they get in to let us make changes, but they work very, very slowly, and they only allowed us to make small changes at a time. And this is so far away, we need to make big changes here. So eventually we got it round till we were good. And then we moved on a couple of days and we went to another test, different piece of road or whatever. Car was good. It was really, really quick. So thought, right, okay, what are we going to do now? So the rally's next week. So these guys are going to take the car back to France. what's the point of taking the car back to France? Don't know, they want to take the car back to France and they say they're going to re-prep it and then come back again. That's not a bit of work and turnaround. Doesn't make any sense, right? Okay, well, just hope that they bring it back the same way as it leaves, right? So, night before the rally, we decided, right, okay, we need to run on this car. We need to make sure that this car is the way it's supposed to be, right? Okay, so we'll get the forest up here. We'll get it organised, and I'm done with the recce. Gordy and Mark, right back. This is right, okay, me and you into the car. Close the road, Fusion boys there. And of course, Bertie was over at a big gala dinner for Rally GB with, you know, all the rally boys and whatever. And Bertie's always in the background watching what's going on and keeping an eye on the whole thing. So me and him into this Peugeot, okay, right down the road, into the stage, flat out, down to the first corner, into the first corner, and she just did not want to turn. It was just back the way it was before we started the test. And the boom, down the road, black dark, bang, bang, bang. All I could hear was glass breaking. So here we were, sort of the first privateer in a 206 WRC, and she was upside down in the middle of the road, and the Rally G tomorrow. So switched everything off, and the next thing, it was dark. He says, "Are you all right?" I says, "Are you all right?" Aye. He says, "What are we going to do now?" I says, "We don't have much choice, do we? We're going to have to fix this thing." Shit. Right, okay. He says, wonder what Dad's going to say. I says, "Well, hey, what are you going to do? You can't dress this one up. Like, you're just going to have to tell him like it is." So the thing, before we even got out, the phone rang. They pulled out the phone, they held it up, and it was Bertie. He says, "What are you going to do?" I says, "Just tell him." "How he's getting on?" "We're not." "What's wrong?" "We're upside down." Silence. "Can you fix it?" "Oh, aye, yeah, we can fix it. Yeah, no bother." That's right.
Gerry can fix it.
You fix it. Yeah, no problem, no problem. It's not too bad. No, it's not too bad. We got out, and she was wrecked. I says, "Geez, I didn't think it was good body, man." Just, "Hey, what are we going to do here? We're going to have to fix this." I says, "Right, okay, down to the wee village." This is, we used to be by down here, the body shop, your man Hughes. Remember, we used to come over and go to the rallies over here. I says, "We'll go down and we'll knock them up. We'll get in there." And I says, "These boys have enough bits in this van. We'll get them all out, get them laid out, down on the road, and we'll get our jack back up into place." And I says, "She's still driving, everything's pointing the right way." I says, "We'll have till tomorrow morning to have this fixed." Got the man out of bed, got down into the body shop, got her in, wings off, doors off, whatever glass was left, hoovered out, then got her squared up and had her on the start run the next morning, ready for Rally GP. But it turned out that the car wasn't really much good. So it was a prize drive, but it wasn't really you know, good to be. So Mick Linford was the main man at Peugeot, and he come back, and Mick was kind of annoyed about it because it wasn't it didn't turn out too well, and Mark didn't really get what he should have got. So next year was, we'd done a deal with Mick. We're going to do the British Championship in a Peugeot. So he said, "Right, okay, we'll prepare the car ourselves. Will you let us prepare the car?" He says, "Well," and kind of what happened, you can prepare the car. He says, "Right, okay, well, we'll prepare the car at home." And I was going to build the car, take the car across, and we'd run the car ourselves. So Mark, that was at the beginning of January, and Mark was ringing me and saying, "Right, okay, we need to go next week and lift this shell and whatever." So in the meantime, they were away for the weekend in the helicopter, and it was 21st of January, and he rang me about lunchtime and said, "Right, okay, I'll see you at 5 o'clock. I'll not be that long till I'm home. So we'll make arrangements about going to lift this shell." So in the meantime, he had already got the recce car and everything for the go and do British Championship. So anyway, what happened then was sort of changed everything. The helicopter, as you know,
Yeah.
crashed, and we lost Mark, and we lost Bertie, and lost Emma, and that was it. That was the end of it. So in the meantime, you know, it was a real tragedy. So whenever everything was done, thought, you know, what are we going to do now? So apart from losing my best friend and my best customer and everything,
Yeah.
it's all gone. We're going nowhere. So Kieran was devastated. Sydney was devastated. Everybody was on the back foot. So in the meantime, just before it happened, Bertie had rang me, and we'd sold the 106 Cup car that Mark had won the championship with. And Bertie had said to me, where is that Peugeot that Mark had? I says, we sold it to the guy and whatever. He says, can you buy it back? I says, don't know. Why? What are we going to do with it? He says, Sydney has a young guy called Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris is going to make a bit of a shape of driving. He says, why don't we try and get that Peugeot back, and I'll buy the Peugeot, and we'll get Chris out and get him going. Okay, so I'll make inquiries. So anyway, the whole thing was done and dusted. Whatever. Kieran was devastated. Nothing to do. We'd lost everything. You know, the Tough Mac team thing was gone. So Mick Linford was not ringing looking for the car, but I said, you know, we've got to take this car back to Peugeot. So Kieran says, what are we going to do? I says, well, you know, Bertie was going to get a car for Chris. He says, you know what? Why don't we get the car for Chris? He says, you go over to Peugeot and you get a car, and I'll pay for it.
Right.
I says, right, okay. I says, well, I'm going to have to go and bring this recce car back in it. So I phoned Mick and I says, right, Mick, I'm taking the recce car and I'm going to bring it over on Monday. So loaded up the recce car and Mark's Jeep, and I headed for the boat, and I drove down to Peugeot. And Peugeot always had a celebrity car. So whenever they were doing rides, they picked a celebrity and said, okay, well, you know, we need a journalist in here in this car, and he'll write about it, and we'll get a big bit of coverage and blah blah blah, and it's good PR for Peugeot and whatever. Yeah. So they had a celebrity car, and it was a good car. So Mick Linford was the last man to have driven it himself. So they were also running the Peugeot touring car team out of Coventry as well.
Yeah.
And Vic Lee was running the Peugeot touring car team.
Yes, yes.
So I arrived over, and I went in, and Stella Boyle, she was the coordinator. It was late, and I stayed with Stella. And I said, Stella, I need to get a 106 Cup car. She said, I don't know where you're going to get one. I says, I need to get that celebrity car. She says, oh no, you can't get the celebrity car. I says, I need to get the celebrity car. She says, no, you're not going to get the celebrity car. I says, right, okay, where's Mick? I need to talk to Mick. So arrived over to the factory, went in, and Mick was there. I says, Mick, I brought back Mark's recce car, or your recce car, whatever. And I says, we need to get a 106 Cup car. He says, I don't know where you're going to get one of them. I says, you have one. I says, with the celebrity car. She says, no, you can't get the celebrity car. I says, listen, you know what happened? I says, I went all this bother. I've come over here. I've saved you the hassle. I brought back the recce car. I says, I could have left the recce car where it was, but I didn't. I says, no, I need the celebrity car. I says, and Kieran is going to pay for it. I says, what are you going to do with it? I says, we got a boy called Chris Meek, and he's going to drive it, right? I says, Kieran's going to pay for it. I says, now, I'm going to take the recce car off here, and I'm going to put that celebrity car on the trailer, and I'm heading home. And I went out and I phoned Kieran. I says, Kieran, I think this boy might sell us this car. He says, right, you get it. I'll pay for it. So I'm back on, and I says, right, Mick, I need this car. I'm going to be shocked. He says, I can't sell that car. I says, you can't pay for it. I says, no, Kieran's going to pay for it. He says, well, and kind of everything has happened all right. Shouldn't be doing it, but I'm going to do it. He says, right, I'm taking the car, put the wheels into the van, put the car on the trailer, and Kieran will pay. Okay, so load it all up, headed for the boat, and I phoned Kieran and I says, right, I've got the car. Good, how much is it? X amount of pounds. Okay, I'll send the check. So he phones Chris. Chris was working, had got his first job at M Sport. Chris was working at Sport, and he was a CAD designer, whatever, designing parts. So he was over at M Sport, and then he would finish at M Sport, and then he would drive to the boat, get on the boat, and then he would come home. So I was back home with the Peugeot, and Kieran says, right, okay, me and him will come down and look at it. So I arrived home, and Chris and Kieran arrived down to look at it. And that was the introduction with Chris. So after Mark was killed, everybody wanted to be Mark Fisher. So the Peugeot became the the main driving force behind all young boys coming for the go to be a good driver. That's when they go and their walk the fame. So the next thing was Gerry Jennings come along. He had a 106 Cup car. He wanted to win the 106 Cup. Eugene Megan, Stuart Darcy, the Doyles, Paul Crossan, they were all, and I decided, right, okay, so we'll take you for a day out. We'll go to Kirkeston and we'll drive these cars. So I took Chris's car, Gerry Jennings came, Eugene Megan came, Stuart Darcy came, I think Rory Gallagher came, they all came. I didn't really want to be going rallying because I had kind of lost all heart in it, It was an interest for Kieran, and that got us motivated and got us going again, but it just wasn't the same. So we got in with Gerry and got in with Stuart and got in with whatever, and then Meek was sitting and I got in with Meek, and we just went down to the first corner at whatever speed we were doing. He just tried to go around the corner at whatever speed he was doing. I just thought, we're looking out the city window and thinking, this boy got some ton of speed here. So he was just immediately, he was fast. So we come back, but we didn't have any money to run the thing. So the next thing was we needed to get a co-driver. So I rang Rory, I rang Brenton Kelly, we rang Stephen Findlay, or we rang Kieran, and we rang Terence Donnelly, and said, hey, this boy's quick. This boy is quick. I'm telling you, this boy needs a chance. This boy deserves a chance because he's got a turn of speed. But we need to be honest. So it was back to Mervyn again. You're going too fast, right? Too fast. You're going too fast. But the problem with Chris was Chris wanted to go around everything at the same speed. And that was
that's what he's famous for.
Yeah, flat out. So the next thing we went to Kirkeston, spent a day at Kirkeston or whatever, and again it was like he wanted to go into the harbour, not a Honda Milliner. No. You need to go in there slow and come out fast, right? So it was all a learning curve, but he immediately had the speed, right? So I had Kevin O'Kane, and we were doing all the rallies with him and whatever, but Meek had this turn of speed that nobody else had, right? So I was out with Kevin and saying whatever, you need to do this, you need to do that. Kevin, you're not listening, right? I says, you know what? I says, I'm going up tomorrow morning, and I says, I'm taking the boy out for a test. I says, come with me till I show you what I'm talking about. Right? I says, it's about carrying speed, right? who is he? I says, he's a boy called Chris Meek. I says, meet me in Enniskillen. We're going to go out. We're going to the forest ride. Okay. So out we goes anyway. And of course, Meek, he was most of it. He was sitting there, helmet and all on him. I says, get in there. I says, go for a spin. Come back. When I come back, come around the last corner. Come around the last corner, he had the door open. He's like,
Trying to get out of it.
I said, what's wrong? I opened the door and he pushed me back. He says, I'm going to give you a bit of advice. And I says, what? He says, get her out of that boy there. He's going to kill somebody.
Oh dear.
And I always said to him, you know, after, you weren't a great judge of a driver, were you? So Chris came and done the Peugeot. When Chris got it together, he just took like half a minute of everybody in one stage. But the problem, it's a bit like the sticker. You know the sticker, the Pirelli sticker said power's nothing without control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we could have stuck that on Chris. So it was back to Mervyn again. You're going too fast.
Yeah.
So Kieran bankrolled the thing. Chris got going. He got the experience, and it was fast.
Definitely.
It was fast. So, you know, it does prove the point that if you do go the right way about it and you're in the right place, you can make it there.
Yeah.
So the thing was, along then come, you know, whenever the job happened, with Bertie's job, Austin McHale and Bertie was two of the biggest rivals and friends that there was in rallying.
Yeah.
So the next thing then was, you know, Austin come along and he says, I have a job for you. And I says, what's that? He says, I've got a young boy and I want you to take him and and we'll find a one-make championship for him, that Peugeot thing or whatever. All right, okay. All right, I'll sign up for. Yeah.
Can I just pause you 1 wee second? Are you able to put a light on there? Because I'm just watching here. You're slowly but surely disappearing.
Disappearing? Okay. Can you hang on?
Yeah. Sorry to stop you just when you're about to go, but
all right. Hang on. I have to start the generator.
I don't know about you, but I tell you what, I can listen to Gerry all night. That is comical. The crack is just mighty. But I'm sure you're going to see, I can see in the corner of my screen here for what I'm recording off. And Gerry was slowly but surely disappearing. Hence, we've gone for the electric route. So he'll hopefully not be too long now. Sorry for the interlude and stopping him, but just as I say, he was disappearing there into the darkness, so to speak.
Sorry about that. When I have the one bulb, you see, and we have to put it around different rooms. Anyway,
sorry for interrupting you there, Gerry. You're back now. We can see you.
We're going on a bit long here, aren't we? We're probably keeping everybody back.
Well, I don't think there's anybody watching it that's complaining, to be honest. I know I certainly am enjoying the crack. Joanne keeps coming in and poking through the door, giving me the thumbs up. She's loving it, and I'm sure everybody else is too.
Anyway, we had Chris. So then the next thing along came Gareth. So Gareth come up and we sent him up, and we started in the Peugeot 206 Cup. Started 206 Cup. The thing about it is, and this is probably a long-winded roundabout way about answering the question, how do you get better? How do you, it's about them things that I told you about. It's about a higher level of thinking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about how to act. And it's about, you always learn something. Every day you learn something. It's like my father said, there's different kinds of smartness, right?
Yes.
So Gareth comes along, and you can make somebody a better driver. You can make somebody a good driver. You can learn somebody how to drive if they accept that they're not a good driver, or they're not as good as they can be, right? But if they decide that they are a good driver, then you can't make them any better, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is deciding that you want to do that, so you're going to have to listen. So
yeah,
we take Gareth, and we decide to take him in the Peugeot 206 Cup. So the next thing is, people have got this myth, and it's like, the thing about rallying is, right, rallying is like tennis, and it's like golf, and it's like football, right?
Mm-hmm.
What have they got that rallying hasn't got? What have they got that sprint or hill climb hasn't got?
Well, you see, I would have an argument there. I would say that there's a difference between motorsport and all those other games you just mentioned, because the likes of football and rugby and golf only require one ball.
Yeah. Yeah. But you need a coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a coach.
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to get better. So Mark Fisher was right. I'm going to use your experience to shortcut my learning time. Right?
Yeah.
So that's how it works. So, you always learn something. I remember one day going to the doctor. We have a doctor, and he's a proper doctor. He's not, he's
yeah.
The sod's a sod and the spade's a spade. And I
Uh-huh.
remember one day and saying, I've got a pain here, whatever. And yeah, okay, so what'll I do? I said, right, okay, well, I'll get the hot water bottle then, and we'll put a hot water bottle on it and keep a bit of heat on it and whatever. And he never even looked up. He says, "Do you ever watch any rugby?" Yeah, I see it on the TV. Yeah. See when the boys get hurted, you see them lying on the field. You see anybody run on with a hot water bottle? No. We don't put a hot water bottle on it then. We put ice on it.
Uh-huh.
That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you learn something every day.
You do. You definitely do.
So we had Gareth, then we took Gareth, went to the first rally, which was down in somewhere in Wales, which is again using all the stages that we'll be going to use in Rally GB. So it's like there's a bigger picture coming, right? So you've got experience first, and when you have enough experience, then you can do it. So we had Gareth. We did the first day, and he come back in, and he goes, "Where is them boys taking 25 seconds to stage of me? Where are they taking 25 seconds to stage of you?" I says, "You need to ask me that same question in about a year's time, because you haven't got it yet." I says, "But you will get it." So more experience, more seat time, and he started getting quicker. Then the next thing is, you've got a young boy learning, and you need somebody else to co-drive. So if you've got two people learning in the same car, then it's dangerous, because if the driver makes a mistake, we're off. If the co-driver makes a mistake, we've got two mistakes, right? So we need an experienced co-driver in here, right? That shortcuts the learning time. So he knows right away what the man's doing, right? So you're going to have a reaction. He can see immediately, this is not working. The man's getting out of line here. We're going to have a crash. So we do the Peugeot, then we couldn't get a co-driver. Same problem is we couldn't get a co-driver for Chris. Nobody wanted to go. The phone up Rory. Rory, need you to go with this boy. No, 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 no. He has no experience. I don't want to get hurt. Not yet. So we'll ring up Gordy. Gordy, you need to get in with this boy here. No, 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 I don't know. Don't think so. Right.
Are you meaning Gordon Noble?
Aye.
Well, Gordon's actually watching this.
Is it?
He is. He's up on the corner of my screen. He appeared up there about 5 minutes or so ago, and he's commented there, "Keep it going."
Well, you see, he's a friend of Gary Milligan's. So
Oh
he'll
dear.
right? Yeah. Gordy's not so late now. Oh, yeah. Then we have Gareth, and we take Gareth, and we do the Peugeot Cup, and then we do the Peugeot Cup again, and then we do the Winter Cup, and then it gets quicker and quicker and quicker, and then we go, and we get more experience, and it gets quicker again, and then he's starting to come every weekend, and then we go and we test and we test and we test. So anyway, just to go back to Chris, I remember taking Chris out and saying, right, Chris, okay, we're going to do this rally this weekend. Now, we're sitting at the top of the hill and we're going down and we're going down to that hairpin, right? What we don't do is we don't go down here. We can't put a wheel in. We can't cut. We're going to take the wheel off. We're going to bend the track rod. We're going to blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, sat and we talked about it for 20 minutes. Down we go down the hill. Could see the hairpin coming and going, Chris. Shit, what did I do? Took the wheel off.
Oh,
Chris, how are we going? Where are we going now? I says, we're up here. We're only up to run the car. I have no parts with me, no pits with me. It's 30 mile back that way to my workshop. What do we have to talk about back up there? Yeah, okay. I says, right, now you stay there. I'll go back and get the bits. So I goes back, goes into the house, put on the kettle, switched on the TV, sat down and started watching TV and started making tea. Chris kept ringing and I kept switching the phone off. I kept ringing, kept switching the phone off. And I took my time, took more tea, and then I got the parts and went back up. And then we fixed the problem, and then we went back to driving. But whenever I got back up, there was red lumps on them where the midges had eaten them. Right? He's bound to have learned a lesson here, right?
Yeah.
Them midges have left a mark on him. He didn't. It didn't make any difference. As it ate the whole Chris could only see one thing. But whenever it worked, it was good. But whenever it didn't work, there was no switch.
Yeah.
Gareth came, and then we got more experience, and then we started going down south, going to do the rallies in the gravel in the Southern Championship. And then the next thing was we put all the bits together, and then we have enough experience to be able to go to a four-wheel drive car. So we said then he's going to get a run in a four-wheel drive car. So we get the four-wheel drive car, and he says, right, okay, what are we going to do? I says, well, get the four-wheel drive car, and you bring it up here. And then we'll bring it up here, we'll get it set up, and then we'll see how to drive it, and then we'll go and do the rally. So he gets the four-wheel drive car on Friday evening. He comes up on Saturday morning. We go out and we go into the forest. We set up the suspension so as he likes it. And then we look at how we're going to drive it. And I says, now we'll put it back in the trailer and we'll drive to Carrick and Sewer. Right? That's the first rally we're going to do. So we go down to Carrick and Sewer. And that was the first round of the championship. I says, now, these boys, I'll be thinking, you know, you're in a 206 Peugeot. They're not going to expect much different. I says, now, what you need to do is you just need to come out of the blocks. Use all the experience that we're giving you. And nothing's going to happen here that's you don't have enough experience to be able to deal with. And I says, now, you're going to get the boys on the hop here. They're not going to be expecting this. And I says, you're going to win the rally. Okay. So then we goes down with the Toyota down to Carrick and Sewer, parks her up, puts her in park for me, out to the first stage, boys come through, whatever, fill up mine ends there, and Philip comes over and he says, you know who's fastest on the first stage? And I says, no, who? He says, Gareth. Yeah, yeah. So next thing times come through, he says, no, who's fastest on the second stage? Who? Gareth. Who's that? I says, don't know, beginner's luck. He says, do you know who's fastest on the third stage? Gareth. He's fastest in every stage, right?
Right.
So won the first rally. So back and said, hey, you know, it's just like, I know, I said, well, you know, this is what I've been getting ready for, right? Use all the experience now. So if you win that rally, you can win the next rally. So we went and we won the next rally. And then we won the next rally. And he won every but except one. So we did that, and then we did the British Championship, and we did the British Championship. So the British Championship was easy because we'd done all the same stages when we were learning in 206. So that was good. Then we did Rally GB. So then the next thing was Austin says, right, okay, I'm going to give this boy a chance here. So we'll go to the World Championship. Right, okay. So we were in the World Championship with Mark, and probably would have been still in the World Championship only for what happened. So we were back from Ground Zero with Gareth, and we were back in the World Championship. Yeah. So, okay, right, where are we going? We'll go to Monte Carlo. So off we go, going to Monte Carlo. And then we go and Monte Carlo, Sardinia, Portugal, do all the World Championship rallies. And then we go to Mexico. And we finished fifth in Mexico. He was one of the best privateer finishers in Mexico. Yeah. So Monte Carlo, Sardinia, Portugal, Germany, Mexico, Argentina, all them rallies. So the next thing then was next year we get a Pepper car. And we have another year in the World Championship. And so we use all that experience, right? Yeah. To come back. So if you're going to be good at something, you have to be with somebody that's better than you, right? Yeah. So we come back from the World Championship, we have to be able to be better than the boys here. But the thing about the thing here is, you got to remember is, all the boys are good at no matter what they do here. Doesn't matter motorbike racing, whether it's car racing or whether it's rallying. You've got some of the best people at anything in the world here, right? Yeah. We've got more, you've got Johnny Ray, you've got Joey Dunlop, you've got, you know, you've got Chris Meek, you've got Alistair Fisher, you've got Craig Breen, you've got the level that's very high, right? So we come back from Mexico, Argentina, we go back, we do another year. And then the next thing, we're at a good level. We'll come back then to Rally Ireland. And we'll come back to Rally Ireland. And the thing about it is, you know, if you wanna know something or whatever, you know, if you stay close and you listen, you'll hear what you wanna hear. So we come back to Rally Ireland, whatever, and first stage in Rally Ireland was a bad stage. It was bad stage. Bad stage in terms of it was jumps and it was narrow and it was horrible. It wasn't nice. It was just a difficult stage. And everybody that in the back was going, you know, Gareth was going, this first stage, this is a bad stage. So we went to the start of the rally and they were listening to the boys, and you had, you know, you had Daniel Carlson, you had Freddie Lux, you had all the boys. The first stage is bad, just horrible. It's car breakers, whatever. So we go down, we go to the start of the rally, and I says, right, okay, what's the plan here? He says, just get through the first stage. I says, no, you don't get through the first stage. You go flat out in the first stage. No, but it's a bad stage. Who says it's a bad stage? Well, it's a bad stage. You think it's a bad stage. It's not a bad stage. But it's all bumps and jumps, whatever. Okay, let's bring common sense to the table. What are you driving? What do you mean what I'm driving? You're driving a WRC car, right? That means that car is for the World Championship, right? Do you think this piece of road here is going to be a problem? The piece of road's not the problem. I says, you're listening to what everybody else is saying, right?
Yeah.
All going to go through that stage and they're going to maim the car or whatever. You go flat out. I says, the car is built for the World Championship. The car's not going to break, all right? And the rougher it is, the faster you go, the half of them bumps and things, you're going to miss them, right? You're going fast enough.
Yeah.
Aye, okay. So we go to the first stage. Everybody goes in with the same theory. Just get through the stage and get out. Michael goes into the stage and he comes out and he takes 25 seconds of everybody. Everybody goes, what? That's not right. Show me that card. Back to thinking again.
Yeah.
Right? So we need a higher level of thinking.
Yeah.
So that's where we were with Gareth. And then the next thing along comes, we won the Tarmac Championship. He was a good driver. He was very clever. And then we had Alistair come along. And then we decided, right, okay, we need to find a one-make championship, right? So the Fiestas were coming. Mm-hmm. So SP Fiesta, right? Let's go. Over, ST, learn the stages, learn to drive, in-car, analyze, look at it. So we did a season or two in that championship. And then we had two cars. So we had a tarmac car and we had a gravel car. So we were doing the British Championship one and we were doing the Irish Championship one. So we ended up winning the Fiesta Championship. And it was funny because just me and him and Barry maybe would go and do the rally, drive home again on the boat back. And we come to the last round, and it was the last round of both championships was on the same weekend. One was the McRae stages on the Saturday, and the other one was the Cork 20 on the Sunday. So,
right,
how are we going to do this? I said, right, okay, well, what we'll do is me and you will go and do the McRae stages, and we'll bring Niall with us, and he'll come, and me and him will do the rally. And then when the rally's over, me and you will fly back, and Badger and Dermy will go to Cork with the other car. So we'll fly back from the McRae stages, and we'll go to Cork, and you'll do Cork on the other car. Okay, so we do the McRae stages, and we finish the McRae stages, and I think maybe we won. And first three cars each day posted on scrutiny. So we need to leave here and get to the airport and fly back.
Yeah, yeah.
So, of course, scrutiny was there. I pulled the car in, want to head off her. Serious? Yeah. We need a checker. Okay, so right, start stripper. Started stripping or whatever, and Ollie was starting to get a bit, restless. He says, right, we need to be going to the airport. Right, okay. Got her step, measured her, checked her. That's okay, fine, perfect. Right, okay, me and you need to go to the airport. Have your passport with you? No. I know where my passport is. I left it at home. Shit. There's no way we're going to get flying back. What are we going to do now? Well, we'll have to think of something else. I says, right, okay, you go to the airport and fly back. And I says, I'll take this car, me and Niall, we'll go on the boat. We'll leave here and go to the boat. We'll get the boat. The boat's at 12 o'clock. We'll get on the boat. I'll drive back. We'll get into Belfast. And I says, I'll drop the car in Belfast. I'll phone Dermy to come and lift the car off me at the boat. And then I'll drive from the boat to Cork. And I says, you fly on ahead to Cork, and I'll be in Cork. I'll be off the boat at 2 o'clock. And I'll have enough time to get to Cork before the rally in Cork starts. So I drove, got off the boat. Derby met me on the West Link, I think, given the trailer and car, and I went on. The boys were there in Cork with the other car, and Ollie was there, went to bed, had a sleep. I drove to Cork, pulled into Cork at 29. First car started at 9. We did the rally, and he won the championship. And I thought, you know what? Might as well drive home. There's no point in staying here now. The rally's over. Drove from the boat to Cork, did the rally in Cork, and then drove back to Pitlane. And that was it.
That's some running.
Yeah, he had his championship won, so then we decided, okay, we need more experience, so we need four-wheel drive experience. So the next thing then was we got the Mitsubishi, got the Evo, British Championship, cross, doing the rallies again. So I think we maybe finished third in the British Championship first time. Come back, did a few rallies at home, take time, more experience. We won the Lakeland stages in the Evo. And we nearly won the Circuit of Ireland in the Evo. Gareth was in the Focus, Gerry was in the Subaru, and Ali was in the Group N Evo. They led the 2 days, went into the last day, and we got a puncture. He was leading the rally by 15 seconds. But that was the speed a Group N car could go at.
Yeah.
So we're coming off the back of higher level of thinking, good experience. That's all it needed to do the job.
Yeah.
So we did the British Championship, I think again, did the Tarmac Championship, a lot of experience in the four-wheel drive car. And then we decided Fiesta, Ford is coming back on track in the World Championship with an R2. So we got an R2 Fiesta, used it for the practice, and then we went and did the World Championship in the R2 Fiesta. So we did 6 rounds of the World Championship. I think he finished second in the World Championship. But again, he just was lacking that wee bit of luck. You know, you can have all experience in the world, but sometimes you need a bit of luck as well. Just that bit of luck seemed to be missing each time. Don't know why, because, you know, in terms of driving experience, he's probably one of the best drivers I've ever sat beside, because got so much sympathy for the car. He's so good at thinking. But every now and again, if there's a puncture going, he just seems to get it.
Just unlucky.
Just unlucky, you know. You need a certain amount of luck. But we finished second in the World Championship in the Fiesta. And then again, we needed experience or whatever. So we were going to Finland. We decided, okay, we'll use the Fiesta we have at home. You're not allowed to practice in the country running the rally. So in other words, you can't go to Finland to practice.
Right.
So what we did was, the closest place to Finland is Estonia. So it's just like the border. It's like Fermanagh and Tyrone.
Yeah.
So we loaded up the Fiesta and we sent her to Estonia. And then I drove out to Estonia. Flew to Tallinn and then drove up to Estonia.
Yeah.
And we had a guy, Risto, who was the team manager with Suzuki. Risto picked up the car and got a couple of guys for the common services. So we did the rally in Estonia for practice for Finland. So same type of stages, same type of terrain.
Yeah.
But funny thing about it was whenever we were doing it, Risto said, he said, we're going to do this rally tomorrow. He says, there's going to be a young boy coming up here. And there's a guy who used to drive a Ford called Marco Martin.
Yeah.
He says, he's got a guy that lives beside him. He says, he's coming to do the rally tomorrow. He says, remember his name. Right, okay. What do you call him? He's called Panic. Okay, remember that. Panic.
I think I've heard of him, Gerry.
Aye, he's good enough.
He's all right.
he's, he's no match for Gary Milligan, but he's good enough.
Don't you be getting Gary any quicker, I've told you.
Well, the funny thing about it is, and like, we can go on rallying all night, but Ali is what he is, and Ali's a great driver. And the thing about it is, you need seat time or whatever. But Ali come back and he went to Galway and he won Galway, and he hadn't had any seat time for must have been 6 months or whatever. But Ali can get into a car and he can just do it. Ali would make a great sprint driver. Ali would be able to just drive it to within hundredth of a second.
Yeah, and he's from down your end of the country too. If you could get him a mini and get him in this fastest mini in the West. Keep Carl and Gary on you, your toes.
Is he Gary's Tyrone? Gary's Tyrone. He's probably west north, but anyway, it's then we had Ollie. We did a lot of rallies with Ollie. We did quite a few World Championship rallies. We're back in the World Championship again. And then the next thing came was Sam Moffat. I had Sam. And then on the back of Sam came Josh.
Yes.
Sam was clever. Sam's a very smart driver. And Josh is no pushover either. So Sam came with a Mitsubishi Evo 9, and then Josh, of course, he came with an Evo 10. So said, no, we're not going to use an Evo 10 because it's too much of a taxi, and we'll have two different cars. We have an Evo 9 and an Evo 10. The wheels don't fit from an Evo 9 to an Evo 10. Right. All the different, so we're making the job bigger than it needs to be. So we get two Evo 9s, we sell the Evo 10, we get another Evo 9. So we put Sam in an Evo 9, Josh in an Evo 9, and then we have a one-make championship.
Yep.
So then the two boys race. So we go and we do all the rallies. We do start with the National Championship, and then we move on to the National Championship. So we're doing the Gravel Championship. And we're getting a lot of seat time, and the boys are getting quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And I think we did something like 97 rallies in the Mitsubishi. And then Sam had a problem one evening. We were out testing and in the Mitsubishi, and he missed the gear and blew the engine out. And I said, okay, well, tomorrow's Monaghan or whatever, we need to go to Monaghan. I said, well, maybe it's time you're able to drive a big car now. So we'll try a world car. So we phoned me back and says, right, okay, we need to get a world car. Where are we going to get a world car? I said, well, we phone Kenny, and Kenny will hire us one. Right, okay. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to get the car, and you need to have a run on it. But it's just going to be the same as driving what you have. Only it's just going to have more power, same principle. Same. Okay, so ring Kenny. Kenny, have you got a car? Yeah, probably, yeah. Right, okay, can you have her in Monaghan tomorrow? Do a test. Okay, we'll give this by running her. Down we go. Then we run. Show him how to launch her. That's it. So up we goes to Monaghan. And he wins Monaghan. So it wasn't as hard as what he thought it was.
Yeah.
It was no harder than winning Group N and his Evo 9. So then we go and we go to Donegal. I said, right, okay, I want to do Donegal. So okay, we go to Donegal. So nobody's gonna expect you to be quick in Donegal, but we've been in Donegal more times probably than anybody else. You've been in Donegal more times with me in a Group N Evo. These are all the same stages. It's all the same thing. And, there's no reason why you can't win Donegal. So he went to Donegal and he won Donegal, first attempt.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. There's a whole pile of bits and bobs or whatever, but we need to get back, I suppose, to what the main thing's about, and that's about the sprint championship.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to Kirkuson, and we have Gerry, and we have Mervyn, and we have Carl, and we have all the boys. But if you look back, you know, it is a game. It's a game, and you need experience. And the man with experience should win
Yes.
if he uses his experience, but he doesn't always use his experience. So I do what I do, and I've got a lot of satisfaction out of seeing the boys coming along and seeing the boys learning to drive and going about it. And there's a whole lot of cogs in the wheel. You know, you've got Rory, and you've got Gordy, and you've got all those people, and you've got Kieran, and you've got, you know, and we've got a lot of talent. I don't forget we got Neil McShea. Neil McShea is champion. Yeah. You've got to give him credit, and you've got to give him respect for that.
Niall won. Did Niall not win the Group Ben
World Championship.
World Championship? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
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 And he did well as well. We have a lot of really good local drivers, more than we actually probably realise.
Yeah. And then, you know, I decided to come back, and, you know, the sprint was on. I got this mini. I got the mini, and I got the mini probably, I didn't really set out to get the mini, but I thought I wouldn't mind having a mini, because mini was the first car I had. And then Gerry was coming with me to the rallies, and he says, "Hey, see a mini on eBay for sale." So rang up, and it was an old mini, and I thought, that's nice. That's a Mark 1 mini. So the guy owned it for 30 years, and he died, and his friend got it, and decided he was going to use it for the learn his son to drive. So took a run up the road and realised that was too quick for the drive. So he took the engine out of it, and then it sat there for a long time, and then he put it up for sale. He put it on eBay. Derby saw it. I rang. I had the wrong phone number, and we eventually got the right phone number. I got through to him, and I bought it. I got it home, and it had no engine in it. So it's thought, you know, let's get an engine and gearbox. So I got an engine and gearbox in it, and it was sitting there, had it all finished, looked good. It's an early mini or whatever. So I thought, you know what, I've looked at it long enough. Maybe I should take it out and use it. So Enniskillen Sprint was coming up.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what, I'll take it out to Enniskillen Sprint. So I took it up to Enniskillen Sprint, and lo and behold, I was doing Enniskillen Sprint maybe 25 years before that in my Honda. So I used to go and do the sprints in my Honda. So the way I went to the sprints in my Honda was, the sprint was on Saturday. I just prepared the car, and I went to drove Ferguson, done the sprint, and drove her home again.
Yeah.
So thought, right, okay, I'll do the sprint championship in my Honda. So done the sprint championship in my Honda. Same class, rule going class. Doesn't really, you know, specify any particular rules. 1300 car, must have original panels. Honda was that, original glass, all them things. And it shouldn't, you know, it shouldn't make any difference what kind of a car you're going to race. The whole trick is to be able to drive it as fast as it can go, right? So did the championship in my Honda, and then that was it. Sort of put it away. Got busy with these boys, rallying, whatever, and then did a lot of things in my Honda. Did Lurgan Park in her first year. Lurgan Park ran.
Right.
And I was coming off the back of doing the sprints and hills in her. So did Lurgan Park the first year Lurgan Park ran. So I drove her to Lurgan Park, took out a couple of wheels out of the back of her, same tyres and wheels that I was using at Kirkuson, and Nuts Corner or whatever for doing the sprints. Did Logan Park. And again, you know, the first year Logan Park ran, it was a great event. There's a lot of gravel on. And again, you look at it from experience, and you look at it, there's a lot of tarmac on it, but there's no gravel and there is tarmac. So you look at it and say, you need gravel tires on there, but you don't. You actually, the fastest part of it is the tarmac. So you go for the tarmac and then you cope with the gravel. So the same with rallying. There's no perfect setup. There's no perfect setup for a stage. Rallying is a compromise. So what works here doesn't work there. So you have to use it where it works and manage it where it doesn't. And that's what works. So back to the sprint. We'll go back to Kirkiston, and Gerry will be there with his mini, and we'll have to see what. Oh, in the meantime, then I bought another mini. Which was a mini traveler with a motorbike engine in it and whatever. I did end a skill sprint in it last year. So in between times then, about a year and a half ago, when I was back, I was doing the sprints again. As you know, I got sick, so I had to have treatment. So you know, we went to the doc and says blah blah blah. It's this and this and this. So right, okay, what do we do? Well, you're gonna have to go and have treatment. So I'd started to do the sprint championship, and I wanted to win it again. It was just, it wasn't the be all and end all, but it was good competition, good people, good camaraderie, good fun, and it was keeping me on in. So I was going to be sitting at home and I was going to be sick, so I thought, nah, let's, if we can work it here. So what we did was, I drove down and tried to organize it that I was having my treatment early. So I was having treatment every day. So I missed the first 2 or 3 rounds of the championship. So, but I'm not going to catch up now. And then when I counted up and looked at it, I thought, I can still do the championship, but I'm going to have to make every round count. So get treatment early, drive down, get back in the car, drive home, and get back into the garage and work for a bit. But that only lasted for a while. So I thought, right, okay, I'll get the treatment every day, and then I'll just go and do the sprint. And then I was tired, wasn't able to maybe give it me all. So I thought, right, okay, we'll just, if you look at the sprint, there's a trick to everything. There's experience will tell you what it is. And you've got 3 runs at the sprint. And if you look at it, the first run is early in the morning, if everything runs. Tarmac's not that warm. So probably your quickest time is not going to be the first one. So midday is going to be the best time because it's going to be the most people in the tarmac. That's going to be your best one. So after that, when the track gets rubbered or whatever, it's going to get slower. So come back, have your treatment, go to the thing and save me energy and have one perfect run and not make any mistakes. So the goal was to do what was left to them and just beat Gerry every day I went up.
We all set out to do that. Poor guy's getting some abuse here, Gerry, am I?
No, but Gerry puts himself up for it, you see.
He does, he certainly does.
Oh, yeah. You always know what way the thing's going to go. So, you know, the sprint's good. It's good. It's like I said, it's good competition. It's good fun. And there's a good bunch of boys. And I have to say, you know, there's a great bunch of people that go to the sprints and allow us to be able to go and compete. And those are the guys like Nigel McCutcheon and your father and all those guys that stand and marshal and put themselves out so as we can go and have the crack. And you know, you've got to have respect, and you've got to have respect for those boys. And those go every day, and it's good. It's good, and it's great to be able to be with people like that. And we've got so many good people that are in the sprint. You've got so many good boys like you got Kenny Colbert and you got Davy Francis and you've got Oliver and you've got all the boys. They're all a great bunch of boys. Like the more you slag and whatever, and so is Gerry. If Gerry was in trouble, I'd be the first man to push him on ahead into the shock flick.
Yeah.
Won't be the first man over to pull him out.
Well, he's a couple of times.
I wouldn't do that. No, Gary's sound, but he enjoys the crack. And the other thing, you forget about what is it? This is motorsport, right? It's supposed to be fun, right? So whatever it is not being fun, then start doing something else.
Definitely.
So whatever you're going to do, you need to be as good as you can at it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you got to have respect for Pat McGarrity and the McGarrity boys and the time and whatever, and they go and they sit there and, hey, without them boys, it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah. A lot of competitors.
And Richard.
Sorry, go ahead.
And Richard Young. Richard Young's there. I remember driving to Kirkuson to race. Richard was there then.
Mm-hmm.
He's still there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A lot of competitors don't think on the people in the background, the marshals, the timekeepers, the rescue, the organisers. So it's good to see like yourself and others comment, and it's good to see.
You have to look at how it works. You have to look at how it doesn't make any difference whether you're in Monte Carlo or whether you're in Mexico or whether you're in Sardinia.
Yeah.
It's the same game. The same game. And everything's getting better. If you look at the World Championship, the boys were winning years ago by minutes. Now a World Championship rally will run and there may be 6 seconds between them boys at the front.
Yeah, it's very little.
Yeah, and if you look at it, whatever it is, it doesn't matter whether it's football or whether it's tennis or whether it's motorbikes or whether it's rallying. It's a game, and the difference is the speed of the game, right? The difference in the speed of the game, the difference in professional football and amateur football is the speed of the game. The difference when you're watching a world rally and a national rally is the speed of the game, right? So you go and you arrive there and it's back to thinking again, right? So you drive up the road and you're only supposed to do 60 mile an hour. Not everybody does 60 mile an hour, but you're supposed to do 60 mile an hour. So you're thinking at 60 mile an hour, right? That's slow. So you arrive at Kirkuson and you're going to drive at 100 mile an hour. So you have to think at 100 mile an hour, right? To see rallying. So you have to get adjusted. So it's back to thinking again. There was no thinking done there, and it's you can take the experience and you can take it to the road. If you look how many cars are on the road, you can take that thinking. People are not thinking, right? The majority of people are, if you look at young people now, I'm watching them on the footpath. They're walking and they've got a phone stuck to their face.
Yeah,
right?
They're not thinking.
No, they're not thinking. If you wanted to talk to them, you'd nearly have to Google them or send them a text.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So, we went to something in Downpatrick. There was a thing for a guy that used to race motorbikes with my uncle way back. And it was somewhere in Downpatrick, and it was in some school in Downpatrick. And we thought, right, okay, we need to get to Downpatrick. It has to be in Downpatrick. And this boy was walking up the road, and I thought, right, stop and ask him, okay, do you know where the Monument School is? No. Is it here in the town? Is there a school in the town? No. Do you live here? Yeah. So he doesn't know where the school is. He lives there.
He doesn't know.
Right? Yeah. So he's not thinking.
Yeah.
He's not thinking. So you need to think about it. So whenever I go to Kirkuson, I'll be thinking, the first thing I'll be thinking is, where's Gerry?
Well, Gerry, I got to tell you a story about Gerry here. I'm actually looking. We have been talking for 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm starting to panic a bit about, I have the 2 iPads plugged into a portable battery pack, and it has drained both iPads and the portable pack. So I'm thinking that I'm starting to worry about this bottom one here, the one I do the live recording packing in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it slightly short. I normally, Gerry, have a list of questions on a page. And I've asked you the first question, and that's it. You've made my job so easy tonight. It's been amazing. I haven't had to speak. It's been superb. So as far as the questions are concerned, they're out the window. Right, I never got to ask them. But there's one important question I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
You've been great sport. You've sat here and done a great interview, and it's been superb. And I've asked this to everybody else. This is the crucial question. Gerry, who would you like to see interviewed?
Who would like to see interviewed?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, if you look at this, if you look at all this year and you look at what we're going to do and you look at what's happening, whatever, there's a whole lot of things going on that you can take things from, and you look at the different experiences or whatever, and you look at it, and it's back to the same thing again. There's different kinds of smartness.
Yeah.
And look at one man that stands out, and he's clever, and he's a great engineer, and he's a great thinker, as Robert McGarrity.
Right. Well, I know Robert has been suggested in the past, and I've spoken to Robert. So I give Robert a wee shout again and see what his thinking is. I know exactly where you're coming from, especially the engineering bit. So I'll have a wee word with Robert and see what we can do, and see if we can get something gathered up. But in the meantime, as everybody knows, I always like to announce who the next interviewee stroke victim is going to be. And Gerry, this is going to be a belter one. Your ears is going to be ringing hot next Friday night, because next Friday night we have Gary Milligan, who's going to do a lockdown Pitlane walk with us. I'm sure the banter is going to be great. I'm sure your ears will be ringing. You're bound to red ears next week with Gary. So we're going to do an interview with Gary next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Apologies, this week's interview has moved backwards and forwards. It's due to circumstances of mine at home. Work as well has kicked in. That's why poor Gerry here has had, I think, Gerry, we've had 3 dates set before we got this right, didn't we? Thursday, Friday, back to Thursday, and Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, but you need to make sure you do the same with Gary. What is he driving? What is he driving? What does Gary drive?
He has a Mini.
Oh, he has a Mini. All right, okay. Good man, Gary.
Oh, here we go. I fell for that one, didn't it?
The Mini is a real Mini.
Well, it's a fast Mini, I know that much.
I know it's fast, but anyway, sure, look, I'd have to be on before him, wouldn't I? Always finishing, so I have to be on in front of him as well. The lads are picking up and down on him now.
I go to be cheeky and say, once again, he's following you, and I know I go to get some stick over that.
Hey, he needs to make sure the brake lights are working.
Oh, here, don't start, or I'll be getting the thick ear the next time I see him. Gerry, what I'm going to do is, on behalf of myself and everybody that's been watching, and I've watched it, and there's been as much as 80 people watching this.
Yes,
There's 57 at the minute, and the vast majority of those have been watching from the start. It's been a fabulous evening. It was really, I really enjoyed myself.
Probably 56 of them policemen. Probably
Probably saying that. I laughed and joked with you at the time, Gerry, when I says I'm going to move it from 8:30 to 8 so that we can stop talking the right side of midnight. And here it wasn't far right of the mark, was it? Gerry, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Okay. It really has. It's been a hit. It's been fabulous. And it's great to see another side of you that we didn't realise. I certainly didn't know about how much you've done in the background with bringing people and drivers and all. And your mindset and all about thinking and teaching you to look another level. Like that wee trick with the brake lights at Mondello's, superb. Wee things that got there that make you think. So everybody will have learnt something from this tonight. I know I certainly have. And
but I can't educate Gary.
Right.
Can't do that.
Right. I was waiting to see what was going next.
Yeah. Hey, there's that. I used to work with a boy, and he was really, really clever, and he was a great man with one-liners.
Uh-huh.
We were going somewhere one day, and he was getting a bit cheesed with the whole thing, and he says, "See that shop window back there? You see the sign in it? No. You know what it said? What? Smart boy required. The last one was too smart." That could be Gerry.
Gerry, if you bear with me here, I am going to turn everything off here in sequence. So just again, on behalf of everybody, thank you so very, very much. You were a great sport and great to listen to. So thank you very much for that. Everybody, I will see you all, as I say, next Friday evening, 8 o'clock, and it's Gary Milligan, who I'm sure will be trying to plot his revenge in Gerry. It's going to be, never mind the fastest mini in the West, it's going to be, I don't know what you call it, insults galore perhaps, I don't know, it's going to be good crack. Okay, so everybody here, good night, hope you've enjoyed yourself. I had a ball. Gerry, if you bear with me, I'm going to turn this off and hopefully get it right. So bear with me here, everybody. Good evening to everybody on Facebook. So we will finish that. I just need to post it and share. And we're away. Now I'm going to turn the recording off on this other one. So just bear with me. Recording is off. Stop recording is